talk.
All right. So yeah, this is the first time that we're all actually together doing this.
Hey.
The last time that we did this was on Streamlabs or StreamYard.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you guys know Zio and Kyle, and then we've got Dony.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
Heck
Can't
yeah,
see him too
Dony
well.
is also a streamer. He is on Twitch, right?
Yep.
Yeah. What's the
Twitch.tv/meta minister.
There you go.
Almost said medic.
And then,
That's
So,
mine.
yeah, when I did that podcast thing, I actually legitimately put Donnie, I put medic, with Kyle meta minister, and I was like, wait a second.
Shit. Wait a second. He's the medic.
Donnie
oh
don't say
yeah,
nothing.
that was funny on that basketball stream. I noticed you were gonna put Donnie, and then you just changed it like right off the. It was.
Well, it's just I always see I don't know, when I watch a lot of basketball, when I watch people play on YouTube, I always see them not use their real name, so I'm like, it's probably better to actually use the stream name just so it keeps on repeating on the screen and stuff like that, so people can catch on faster to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Kyle and Zio, you guys also have YouTube and Facebook, and you have your own social media accounts.
Oh yeah, quite a few.
Yeah.
On YouTube, I am official Zio. On Facebook, you can find me at is it Artist Zio actually, or is it official Zio? I haven't checked that in way too long. I need to check.
I hope you made that one Artist Zio because we were talking about making an Artist Zio quite a bit.
It should
so.
be Artist Zio.
And then
that much.
Nice.
mine are all under Conscience the Medic.
Conscience
Medic.
Yeah, and then my
Conscience with a
Twitch though
K,
is
by the way.
MetaMedic because that's my gaming is MetaMedic and it's Conscience with a
Metamedic.
K, the Medic.
The Medic.
That
Metamedic.
yeah, that came about pretty cool.
By the way, if you don't know that, that's METAMEDIC.
Yeah.
Meta Medic.
Yeah. And then he's Meta Minister with an A, right?
Yep, MINIST.
After the
Oh, it
Meta.
is Minister.
Yeah.
Meta Minister.
Nice.
Yeah. So
And obviously, you're all here at Vault Media, so you know exactly who Mark Perez is.
That's right.
My boy.
Yeah.
My man.
So we're kicking it off.
Save the Wave, by the way.
Save
We
the
also have
Wave.
YouTube channels. Our main YouTube channel together is Save the Wave. We're going to be doing some stuff here shortly under Heart and Soul, which is HART, then space, then N, then SOWLE.
Nice.
Because his last name's Soul, my last name's Hartlerode. So
Yeah,
Heart
that
and
is
Soul.
a really badass name too,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah, and so
Zio's in, and not me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm like, you might want to clarify what you mean by that.
Oh my
They're
God.
gonna take it the wrong way. I mean, it's not really the wrong way, to be honest. We all knew when we said it.
oh yeah,
Triggered.
Can I start with a joke
That's the
that a
point
buddy of
about
mine
it.
told me?
Yes, let's
We
do
talked
it.
about it before. Me and Zio's talked about that before. So
Yeah.
So I have a buddy that I used to work with who we sat down one day and spoke about the fact that a few years ago they released this Powerpuff Girls reboot in which they gave the Powerpuff Girls a new sister, but apparently this sister was older than them, a black girl, and she was like ridiculed online because they made her like thick and whatnot. Like she had like really slim hips and then her hips just went out, like the slim waist and her hips just went out. It was nuts. And apparently the professor came up with her first and just like abandoned her on some island or something like that. I never watched it, so I just know like from word of mouth. But anyway, me and my buddy were talking about her. We're like, yeah, so apparently she has this like black older sister, and the professor didn't spill chemical X for her. He spilled
I
chemical
just fucked
N.
it up. I thought maybe.
way to ruin. He
Yeah.
built up this joke.
Yeah.
I already knew the punchline.
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Good.
Getting out of
Yeah,
his
so
face.
the professor
sorry,
spilled
man.
chemical N to create the black Powerpuff Girl, basically. It's
Okay.
the punchline.
Strike one. So anyway, Mark, what is on the agenda for today?
Well, I just thought, let's just get together, talk about how things are going, life.
Yeah.
Liberty
So-
and the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah, man.
The pursuit of happiness is the main thing I'm trying to focus on lately, because
Right.
life in general is just work
Yeah, man.
and come
That's
home
why.
and sleep.
That's why I wanted to, get this going with you guys. Just do some more podcasting because, I think so. That's what we're all pretty interested in nowadays.
Yeah.
We got our music and everything, but like as a whole, like I think podcasting is a good way to, or just streaming in general is a good way to kind of promote that.
Yeah.
And then also do other things,
Mhm.
get involved in like challenges, which is something that we got coming up with some hot sauce challenges. which I hope to get you guys involved with.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I like
Looking
heat.
forward to that one.
I don't like pointless heat, but I'll still do it. Like I eat nothing but spicy foods in life in general. But then
Yeah.
when it comes to those fucking pointlessly like painful spicy,
Yeah.
like why?
I feel like that's the way a spice tolerance should be. Like I eat those pointlessly spicy things sometimes.
Yeah, I've eaten them with you.
And like,
Some of them
yeah.
are okay. Like
But
that
see,
one ramen was okay.
I tried the one chip challenge. Yeah, the one ramen was delicious though. That wasn't just
Yeah,
pointlessly
it was-
spicy. Like,
that was
well, it was
legitimately
pointlessly
exactly.
spicy, but it was delicious enough to make.
It
up
wasn't.
for the
It didn't
pointlessly
taste
spicy.
like spicy enough for me to start freaking out or anything.
Yeah.
I don't get those ones that give you anxiety. It's like that's
Yeah.
actually when it gets so people's
One chip challenge.
a lot of people say that if you like spicy foods, spice doesn't technically have a flavor, so it technically means that you are a masochist. You like pain. But
I mean,
if
that
it's
makes sense
slight
to an extent,
spice,
but
I think
yeah.
it just adds like a kick, you know?
I think
But if
the
you
slight
get to the
spice-
point where you're eating like ghost peppers and shit like that,
Yeah.
then I'd call you a masochist
See,
because
the
that's
thing-
just
the
a
thing about
stupid
spicy
thing
foods
to do.
is it's well known that spicy foods like clear up your sinuses and
yeah.
whatnot. Like, and your sinuses are connected to your taste buds. Like you smell and taste things together.
Taste stronger
So
because of
spicy
spice.
foods will make your flavor stronger. So again, that's where pointlessly spicy comes into
Well, they
play.
Exactly.
say also that
But you get just a little bit of nose running. It's cool.
Exactly.
Yeah. They say also spicy foods in moderation is good for like your like metabolism.
Yeah,
That's why I have a
yeah.
hella
It burns
high
calories
metabolism.
going down.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I have
that's
a
how hot it
high
is.
metabolism.
And that's why I'm fat.
That's
Dude, yo.
Yeah.
Can I point something out though? After I mentioned life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, you mentioned how you're focused on the pursuit of happiness, and I think that makes a big impact looking at it that way because you understand that the phrase "life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness" kind of tells you the exact process of trying to get to a happier life, but backwards. Because in the pursuit of happiness, you're searching for the
You need
freedom
those.
to,
Yeah.
you know,
You need to
live
have the first
life that you want, so that life isn't the hard part. It's just, you know,
Fun
life,
fact.
I'm free.
Did you know that when they made that phrase, they actually wanted to make it life, liberty, and property?
Yeah, life,
But the
liberty,
reason why they couldn't
it
make it
originally
property-
was that. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
they
then
couldn't make it
changed
property
yeah.
because it's like, well, you know.
That's
that
why
seems like
America has
we're
as
not
much
gonna
land
do-
as we have.
if they made it property, there would be no homeless people. So they're like, we gotta have some homeless people. Let's get this straight.
yeah, bad marketing on their part.
Oh yeah, bad marketing on the founding fathers. I'll give them that.
Oh yeah,
The bad part is that the citizens found out that was the case. We were like, oh no, they're selfish, you guys.
when
Yeah.
you
They
realize
didn't keep this a secret.
yeah, when you realize that the U.S. was just built on a big business plan, you know, to make money.
That's all it was.
You know,
Speaking
That's
of
all
Still
it
is.
Speaking
Yeah.
of which,
yeah,
also
like
is.
freedom was just their like marketing point. Yeah, it
can
was just the
actually-
catch.
we can quote Bo Burnham on that one. Monopoly, the board game, is like far from
A
monopolizing the board
monopoly
game.
has far from a stranglehold on the board game market.
Exactly. Like that's hilarious. The term monopoly is it's overused but underrated.
You know
Monopoly is the game to
To fight people.
to realize who your
Yeah.
real friends are. Because
Monopoly is
like,
the game. I've never once finished a game of Monopoly. I've played it many times. Never once finished a game.
Same.
Never had anyone lose either. It was
Yeah.
just like eventually you'd be like, all right, I got that property. I got.
It's eventually
Dude, you
something
wanna
happens,
go-
someone stands up like,
You wanna
hold
go
on,
ride
let's pass
bikes?
on this round.
Exactly. You
Somebody
just,
stands up like,
you
oh, hold on,
Grandma,
let
you
me
want to go
get
ride
this
bikes?
food.
This shit's boring.
but there was always that one guy that wanted to keep playing, and it was just like, dude, relax. Like we get it. You're good. like
Yeah.
Literally.
He goes up to be a business mind.
yeah,
But I
And now
never
he's-
never
now-
liked many board games growing up.
dude, I love Trouble.
I liked Yahtzee.
That was my favorite game.
Yahtzee was the shit.
Yeah.
I don't
know what
remember
Trouble is.
which games
I know of
played.
it,
Like,
but I never.
games like Life, Trouble,
Trouble is
Yahtzee.
like
I played like once in my life, and I still don't understand.
It's the shit, bro. It's
Yeah.
fun. And it's easy to explain. Like, if we were to play it right now,
Yeah.
and you just roll, and I'd go,
Yahtzee. No, no.
if you got all of them the same number, sure.
If that's your first roll, then you
it's kind of
keep playing.
isn't it like
So craps.
6
Make
5
sure to
4
hydrate.
3 or like isn't it kind of like poker like the hands or like
Yeah.
it's like
3 of
you want it-
9.
yeah you want to get the different hands
You want
and,
to you
like,
want to
the-
get everything. So you have a board, and then it has like 1s through 6s. Where one roll you're gonna go like, okay, I'm gonna go for my 6s. So you try to capture as many 6s as you can in 3 rolls. And then whatever you pocket some, then you roll the other ones. You pocket another one. If you have another 6, you pocket more. Blah blah blah. But if you don't get that, or if you get 4 6s, and you're like, okay, I got to get 4 of a kind eventually, so I'm gonna get that now. Then if you keep on getting those, eventually, if you only have like 3 of a kind left and like 2s left, and you're like, okay, I gotta go for something. Okay, I got 2 4s. Let me try to get a third 4. You roll 2 more. There's nothing else. You might cross off that 3 of a kind, or you might cross off those 2s and go for the 3 of a kind again.
So I'm going to speak for the outcasted introverts like me who understood none of that. Uno is such a great game that also tests
Uno's
friendships.
nice. Uno's nice.
oh yeah
Uno's
dude
really good.
Uno's fun, but it's one of those things where it's just like kind of raging at those video games, like where you just be like, all right, dude. I had this one one time we were playing, and I was like, I did the same thing I did here because I'm like, I hate raging at games that I don't really play much.
Just stop playing.
And so like we were playing Uno, and I'm like, and then I got hit with like 7 draw 4s. I'm like, dude, I got too many cards. Like, I'm just gonna sit it out because like now I'm just sitting here like, oh, another draw 4. Okay, cool. Let's go again. Oh, 36. The whole deck's right here. All right, let me try to win.
It's awesome to hear that point of view because for people like me, that's the best part of the game. It's where like you're on the down end and you're just like, I got all these cards. It sucks. I'm probably about to lose. But then when you look at your hand and you're like, I'm the only person who can have a draw 4 left after this.
Yeah, I like.
I'm about to screw you up. I got to reverse because you're the one who's been giving me all these draw 4s.
Yeah,
take
that. I like that. I like that with like if I only draw 4 like twice at most. But if like I think that game I'd like drawn 4 twice, drawn 2 like 3 times, and I'm like, dude, I literally can't even look at all my cards. I have to actively shuffle to see if I can play something.
Yeah,
what's the best card to
play? That's very
play?
annoying because you have this like large hand that you can't hold it in one hand anymore. You have to use both. Yeah, spread them out as far as you can. Still make sure nobody's seeing your cards and like.
I'm also.
Meanwhile, there's somebody going Uno every 5 seconds.
You hate what?
That's just why I hate games. It's like I don't do games well. I have like great patience for everything besides games and technology. When it comes to either one of those, like if I'm on a computer and Louis C.K.'s joke is he's like, it's going to fucking space, give it a second. And I'm over here just sitting and like trying to upload. I was trying to do that lyric video, and every time I tried to do it at like 11 seconds left to export, it would go failed. And I'm like, why?
Oh yeah.
And it did it like 3 times in a row, and then eventually I figured out why. But like, you know, you're still gonna get pissed because you're waiting like 15 minutes for it to render, and then it goes failed.
Oh yeah. And then like Wi-Fi or like if you have like a data plan, like the Wi-Fi is usually better than your data plan. So it's like if you're trying to download something and you forget to turn your Wi-Fi back on, it just like takes forever. And you're like, why is this taking forever? And then you're like kind of scrambling around, like trying to like figure it out. And then finally you're like, yeah, there you go. Those little bars aren't lighting up. You know,
we have one ISP here, one service provider that can do good speeds, and I'm not gonna name them because we're obviously live. They are garbage.
Yeah.
And they're popular. They're one of the most popular ones. I could say that because I ain't outing them. And they're horrible, bro. And I know they're telling me to calm, like, you know, cast out your sin. But, like, I can't.
Yeah, dude, your mobile data is 10 times faster than the Wi-Fi here.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Really?
It's to the point, like,
does anybody else that's like maybe watching right now have like crappy Wi-Fi or great Wi-Fi?
I wasn't just talking, but it's cool.
What was you saying?
You're right.
What were you saying, Dony?
Next time, raise your hand, please. Yeah, I'm not calling you. But yeah, like it got to the point because I watch YouTube every night before I go to bed because you know it's interesting and I can fall asleep easily to it. Well, it got to the point where I started watching on my phone on my mobile data because 1, it uses a lot of bandwidth, and 2, it's 10 times faster on my phone.
Yeah. What were you saying?
0.
Sorry, I wanted to add to what you were saying, so I tried to interject really quickly, but I'm sorry for cutting you
I
off.
almost called you Kyle.
I just realized I'm like Donnie hasn't said anything as soon as he starts talking. I'm like, oh.
And now you guys,
I'm actually glad y'all tag teamed to stop me because I felt
literally,
bad.
like had the most like that was great information, and it was just like
I felt bad because I was just trying to add to it, and I was like, oh, I did just completely cut him off. All I wanted to say was that, like, you know, if anybody that's watching this can like relate or understands exactly where we're coming from with like, do you have crappy internet or do you have great internet? Is there anything you suggest, or is there something that, like a company that you particularly dislike?
Wow,
and mention it. And that's,
nice
like,
segue.
Interesting.
I'll be
That's exactly what you're supposed to do.
I'll be honest, dude. Back at home, we had the best internet I ever did.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
This internet used to be good. I don't know what's up with it. Like it's like
Then Donnie
November
moved in.
came around. No,
In
November came around, dude.
in Climax, Michigan.
I am back in Climax, Michigan, man. It's called CTS, Climax Cell Phone Company.
Hit the bottles up there. We can't show you because we got a whole setup that
we had great Wi-Fi too, and then I started watching a lot of porn.
Yo, time out though. I want to backtrack 2 steps because I want to understand more about this. You said it was called CTS?
Yeah.
And then you said Climax Cell Phone Company?
Telephone company.
Oh, telephone company. So CTC.
No service on it.
Okay. What's crazy is for me, I thought you said Climax Cell Phone Company, and I was like, CCC. CTS?
CTS,
What?
my bad.
But now I'm like, okay, so it's CTS.
Hey,
Climax
can we
Telephone
please
That's
mute
my
the
Uncle
phones
Joe.
during the podcast?
Nice.
Hey, so Mecca said, how did y'all meet? each other because you have really good chemistry.
Is this where
I think,
come
I think
in?
Kyle is the one who
Is this where I come in? Yeah. So, me and Donnie are cousins. So I've known him since childhood, and I actually remember when I was. So one thing that he taught that for the longest time I actually believed, because he's the older cousin, he's got 2 years on me. But for the longest time, I swear to God, dude, I thought that I was up for 3 days straight. And then I reflected one day when I was like 17, because I actually, like, I would tell my friends when I was at slumber parties, I'm like, dude, you can't, you're going to fall asleep. I was up for 3 days once. And I used to say that all the time. And then at like 17, I just reflected. I'm like, no, I fucking wasn't. What really happened was I woke up, and then like Kirsten and Donnie were standing up, and like Donnie probably went, hey, watch this. Then he goes, Kyle, dude, you've been up for 3 days. And I'm like, what? And I just fell back asleep. And then my brain subconsciously registered that. I was like, dude, impressive. You've been up for 3 days. Achievement unlocked.
Kids are so impressionable.
Yeah. So that's how, me and him met, because we're on my mom's side of the family and his mom's side of the family. The golf club, yeah. You can tell that story if you want.
We're me and Kirsten and Kyle I lived in a trailer park, and we're golfing out in our back field, and me, Kirsten, and Kyle was impatient like no other.
I was the youngest.
Yeah. So Kirsten was going, and it was Kirsten's turn, and Kyle just went, and Kyle so badly wanted another turn and kept on scooching closer and closer to Kirsten, and Kirsten went for a back swing and followed through. And
follow through, though, let's elaborate.
Yeah.
To follow through, Donnie says, all right, you swing this metal golf club weapon. It's a weapon.
Tiger Woods was attacked with this.
We're kids, okay?
You
by the way,
swing,
we're
and then you
kids.
spin around 3 times, right? And so I was standing there because I wanted another turn, and then Kirsten swings, she spins around, and goes, and just fucking right there. Exactly. I still have a bald spot right there. And and so then like I get clobbered, and Donnie only being I was in 3rd grade, so I was 8. He was probably 10.
grade, yeah.
Kevin was 12. My brother Kevin was 12 or 13. He's 5
I feel
years
bad
older
for
than me.
Kevin solely because
Kevin-
at the age of 12, I know I was not responsible
No,
enough to deal
no,
with
but
that
Kevin was
situation. I would've
13.
been like, oh no.
Kevin was 13, and so what he didn't help. Donnie looks at me, and Donnie goes, Donnie looks at me all serious, like you could tell in his eyes, but he just goes, hey, so we gotta go inside, we gotta go see my dad real quick, and I'm like, okay, yeah,
That's
whatever.
responsible as hell.
And
of
so
you.
yeah, right, and that's at 9, and then we walked past Kevin, just casually, like I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, maybe I'm a little woozy, but nothing. And then we walk past, and Kevin goes, starts crying, and I'm like, what? And I start crying, and then
I'm seeing myself. I'm like, oh shit.
and then I remember next is Uncle Hank shining the fucking light in my eyes, just trying to make sure that I'm not like have a concussion or anything like that.
That's
But
actually funny. Well, go ahead.
no, go ahead. I'm sorry. That was
I hit my brother with a golf club.
Ooh, on purpose?
No, on accident. Like
Just yesterday. That's why he's not here.
Griffith, Indiana used to have a golf course on Klein Avenue.
Yeah.
And so we're in the driving range, and like in the driving range, it's like little like booths, like it's all like separated.
Mm-hmm.
So you go into like this door, and then that's like your driving range section. So like nobody is supposed to like enter into like from the outside, because you could walk like around like the walls to go to like the other booths.
Yeah.
So I'm in my booth, and for some reason my brother decides to walk around and come into mine, and I didn't see him, and I came up, bam, hit the ball, and as I hit the ball and I'm coming back around, I just feel a thump, and I look back, and my brother's just standing there like not even crying, just kind of like what the fuck?
You ever think of alternate universes? All the time I think of alternate universes. Now just imagine the alternate universe where that somehow just hit your brother wrong, and then he just died, and then you just see.
Why did you think of that alternate
It
universe?
didn't happen.
What the?
It didn't happen.
See, the funny thing about it
Wait,
is
he
that
didn't finish
like
the story.
I feel like now we all have stories in which us or a sibling of ours or someone got cracked during the sport.
Oh, yeah.
Because my
And
older
I'm
brother,
pretty sure
I won't
I
say
died in
which
that
one of my
story.
older brothers. One of my older brothers
I wanna
completely
hear.
smacked my older sister in the forehead with like this metal baseball bat once when we were all kids.
Mm-hmm.
And all I remember is she leaked blood all the way from whatever alley we were playing baseball in that day all the way back to our apartment. And I was just like, what? That's all I remember.
man.
I was like 4 at the time.
See that? So to defend my alternate universe thing, I do that all the time. I remember in chemistry class, I had it with my sister, and she sat across the row from me, and I sat, obviously across the row from her, and I was like cracking my neck one day. I'm like, what if I just push too far? And then my sister's right next to me, I just go and fucking ruin her life forever.
You're terrible. I love it though.
But anyway, that was a great question, Mecca. Let's get on to the next story.
No, wait. Oh, okay. The rest of the question.
I want to talk about we
okay,
didn't finish
okay.
the question.
Cool.
So that's what I was saying. Because I'm like, let's get on to the next one. Saying like, let's get on to the next person I met. So Zio and I met next, but I'm gonna go on to Mark because it's our story is a little bit shorter. It's like me and Zio have
This long,
two whole stories, and so Mark and I met. I was listening to Frankie Valli in this had to be sophomore year, right? Junior year maybe.
Yeah.
Junior year of college. We went to the same school, and we're in this personal selling class. And I was just like, I'm a little bit of an introvert. I'm an extrovert if you get me in the right situation. But I'm sitting there and I have Frankie Valli blaring on my headphones, and I listen to music kind of loud on my headphones. And Mark walks up and he goes, "Hey, bro, is that Frankie Valli?" I'm like, "Who the hell knows Frankie Valli?" "Yeah, dude, what's up?" And we started chatting, we hit it off, and then we'd have like long car talks and shit like that. And I'm happy that we kept up, man.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That was very
Dude,
nice.
I'm happy you kept up because like now I got to know these are my brothers, just so you know. Like, we may not be blood, but these two may not be blood, but
Yeah.
Wait a second. We're not. I thought we did.
Oh yeah. Well, watch this. No.
I thought we did that little cutting thing and we put our hands together to make us blood yesterday.
that was supposed to be a secret, but never mind.
Dude. Dude, that was for the secret society, bro. We don't talk about that on live.
So, Mark, I got to talk to you over there real quick.
But no, go
Thanks for
ahead,
the
No, but the rest of it, like Mark and I would
Draw
like,
my pentagram real quick.
yeah. So we would hang out in the car and like chat and have we'd share music because he's got more of a blues mind than I do, and I love blues, and I think you like blues even more than I do. Like, I listen to a lot of like kind of bass line blues. You know what I mean?
Speaking of which, Conscience Thematic helped produce an album in 2020 that is like a blues-based
Actual
album,
blues,
and it's
yeah.
freaking sick.
That one's straight up blues.
That
like
is
the one I
not
did was
released
blues
yet,
rap.
but it is sick, just so
Yeah.
y'all know.
It's with our uncle. Mine and Donnie's uncle, Lauren. He came over, recorded
Shout out to Uncle Lauren.
18 tracks, 16 tracks, a lot of tracks.
Nice.
And like it's a long LP. It's for so that one's actually for a speakeasy that someone's opening up in Michigan.
Speakeasy 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. So what else, Mark? What else is there in our story, man? Where's the romance? We forgot the romance.
Well, yeah,
mean, you
man.
connected through.
Well, definitely, like, it was like through the music, like just kind of like,
Yeah.
just talking about, well, for one, Frankie Valli, and then like we both kind of realized that we were like into more 50s music than just that.
Oh yeah.
And then we just started like talking more, and then like we just hang out for hours after class,
Yeah.
talking about music or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and then yeah.
Then
So you guys
that
know
was-
roommates?
no,
Looks like you guys are roommates.
we
So long story short, basically what they're saying is they were both awesome people. They met each other, and it didn't take much for them to say, "Dude, you're awesome." Yeah, you too. And so now,
But
he
took the initiative just to have a buddy, and I appreciate that
too. Like,
because Mark's like
Mark literally has this lively vibe about him.
Yeah.
Just like, no matter who meets him, if you dislike Mark, you're probably the piece of shit in that situation. I'm sorry, I should.
and he's driven.
No, that's okay,
He's
man.
driven. He's driven. That's what everyone likes about Mark. Is he's
Well, the
a
thing is,
driven and
like,
loving guy.
I met Mark, I think this is my third time actually meeting you.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
legitimately, I feel closer to Mark than I do most of my people I've met more than 3 times.
Yeah, I was like, we'll not say names. We will not say names.
I mean,
All right,
I
now-
mean you, Angelica.
So I've talked too much. Zio should tell the story about how he and I met.
I would love to tell this story about how Kyle and I met because this is special to my heart. Because in fact, I actually noticed something. What was it, last week? That like blew my mind. That Kyle kind of predicted our situation now because we met back in high school in Indiana. Yeah, and and Kyle, I remember him coming up to me. I forget how the conversation started, but we both found out that we both worked on music. I believe you came up to me and you were like, "So you do music and whatnot?" And like I showed you my music, you sent me a link to yours. I checked you out, and from that day, I was like, "This white boy can spit."
I'm happy you told that story because I don't remember how we.
Yeah, I literally remember sitting in the lunchroom. I was sitting next to Enrique, Alejandro, and like a few other people. Nick Flaherty, a bunch of people.
Nick Flaherty's awesome.
Yeah, like shout out
Nick-
to all of them. They're all still
Nick
great.
Flaherty?
I don't remember Alejandro too much. You know Nick Flaherty?
Like Pink Floyd loving Nick Flaherty.
Oh my God, he
This
knows
dude
Nick
my
Flaherty,
brother.
bro.
He knows
Nick
Floyd.
Flaherty is
Sick.
awesome.
Dude, Nick Flaherty went to LC.
Yeah, he
before
did, and then he went to Marable
right
after
here,
that.
right
Yeah,
here,
dude.
bro. That's
Yeah,
sick.
nice,
You know-
real
Flaherty's
nice
a good
guy.
guy, man.
That's my fucking brother, dude.
Yeah,
Sick.
he stayed with Jake Stalker across the street from me.
That's fucking hilarious,
Yeah.
man.
It all comes full circle. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
It's
wow.
destiny. But yeah,
that.
He's always been the most relaxed guy. Just very
I know him too.
yeah, nice.
yeah, bro. Okay, so basically,
Air 5. All right.
We don't high five
I can do it for
ever.
you.
Why are we doing this on a
I know,
podcast?
right? Wait.
Yeah, so we usually do this.
Okay, so
That's usually what we do.
Oh yeah, he and I kiss, but we're not gonna do it on camera, you know.
So
All right.
Kyle and I, we met in high school. We had that moment where we like exchanged music. From that day on, we never had a class together, by the way. This is just, we met by chance. We were associates. From that day on, I was like, this dude's sick. And I followed him on YouTube, and I like listened to the music by him and the group he was with and all of that for years. You know, YouTube changed their algorithm, so I eventually stopped hearing from it. But eventually one day, a video just popped up, and I was like,
There's one that actually he made the beat for with me. Hypnotist.
Sick, nice.
Remember Hypnotist? You made that beat?
Oh yeah.
The I remember the hook, but you know what I mean.
Hypnotist.
It had that. The video was just this rolling GIF of me, like, you know, like Amanda had my head, and I was just like, she was like, we were like cuddling or something.
Oh, that was
like,
boom, boom.
I was like making this face. I was just watching the other day, and I was like, just doing like that, like with just big eyes and everything. And so then Zia was like, man, you're like the Joker of rap. And I said, dude, that's nice to be put in the same category as like Biz Markie, because I fucking love Biz Markie, bro.
Yeah.
Like just imagine having the balls to not be able to sing and just go, you got what I need. It's so fun. It's so fun. And then he also did Oh What a Night, which is a cover of a Frankie Valli song, and he couldn't sing that either. He literally goes, hey yo, watch me with them high notes, and he goes, oh what a night. And I'm like, what is he doing?
That's why I'm so glad. My respect for Kyle was correct, because for years I always thought, like, I can tell he like knows what he's doing. I can tell that he cares about what he's doing. And to this day, he puts me onto some rap like history, some legendary stuff that I'm like the Frankie Valli cover.
Frankie Valli
I had
sample.
no idea that he did that.
That's a great song.
And I'm
Diamond
like, dude,
Shell
that's
killed
sick.
that.
Like that's amazing. But yeah, on that video, I saw that one, and I watched like 3 of them that same night. Cause I was like, dude,
Nice.
like and on one of them I remember commenting like, yo, it's been years since I've seen you. Like the YouTube algorithm just threw this off. I've been subscribed to years, and I've been subscribed for years. I haven't seen a video in a long time, so I got to watch like a few different videos from him, catch up, see what was going on. Then after that, he responded. He was like, yeah, dude, you still working on music too, and what's going on, and blah blah blah. We talked, and eventually we got to the point where we decided, yeah, let's link up, let's work on some music, and we came up with the song.
Gotta tell the funny stuff first.
Okay.
So
okay,
this
go
whole
ahead.
time,
you tell that one.
this
know
is funny
exactly
because
what
I like to notice like funny things about
cups.
like how conversation rolls, because I love conversation, bro. That's why I'm like, you know, podcasts, I love doing them. I don't like listening to them because I can't join. But so there's this one point where I'm like, yeah, bro, like, hey, like I got this track called Lucky Guy, and it, you know, it's a decent little hook. I got a first verse on it. I'm like, but I got an open slot. And I know, you know, like we've never collaborated. We should collaborate. And I like, you know, it's kind of empty because all musicians do that. Just kind of go like, oh, you're a musician too? Here, try this. And then if they go, most people will just sit on it for a while. But he came back. He's like, hey, I got this. Sent me like, no offense, a weak
It was
demo.
a shitty
a weak demo.
It was a terrible
and
demo.
I was like, you know, I couldn't tell. I'm like, I know he used to be solid. Like, so I'm just, you know, I'll fucking, he's like, I don't gotta, you know, like, hey, you want to come down here? I'm like, yeah. So we came down there. We got him. But before all that, like we're texting him like, and he's like, hey, bro, he asked me, he's like, hey, you drink? And I'm like, oh shit, because I never drank or anything like that until like 2 years ago, and this is like 3 years ago, and I'm like, nah, bro, I'm sorry, like I don't really drink, but hey, my girlfriend does, so you know. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. I'm like, yeah, so if you want to drink with her, it's whatever. And then I'm like, I'm not trying to get you to fuck my girlfriend, by the way. I'm not really into that shit. Like I realized
he didn't say this until we actually linked up. During the whole conversation, it hadn't crossed my mind that he was.
I know.
Get me to
It's because I found it to be a
girlfriend,
funny punchline, so I have to. So me, if I think of something as a funny punchline, I have to go like, all right, I'll bring it up later. You know, if I could spin it in and make it funny. But you know, all right, continue.
Okay, so yeah, yeah, that was hilarious. Like the first time we hung out, he's just like, I wasn't trying to get you to sleep with my girlfriend, by the way. And on that same day was the day I met Luke, by the way, because Luke was with us. We met up at the Steak and Shake.
Nice, yeah, you're right. I forgot about that.
And so shout out to Luke, shout out to Sweats.
Yeah, met him in high school too.
Yeah, see, bam. And so after that, ever since then, basically, we periodically would link up, work on music. Things went great. It took a while for us to get used to working together, but we both had this like mutual respect. Like, I know this guy's good. I know this guy's great. Let's keep on doing it. Let's keep on linking up. It's also cool to just hang out, in fact.
Yeah.
And so eventually, after a bunch of things happened, Kyle was like, dude, you got to move in with me. And I was going through some things. Kyle was freaking amazing with helping me with that. So eventually I moved in with him. And that's when we started like really hanging out and, you know, obviously really getting to know each other.
Yeah.
And that developed into what we now call Save the Wave.
Yeah, yeah. And that story was awesome too. So Save the Wave, I don't know if I ever told you this, but we were under the influence. And
I wasn't sure what I can and cannot talk about, so I'm like,
we were under the
I'll
influence.
be careful about what I say.
So we were hanging out, and then you know, like anytime you're drunk or anything like that, you kind of like, I kind of see it as all waves, you know, and I still don't like doing it often, but it's cool to have the experience every once in a while. And so there's just a few moments that day, like we had mentioned something about like, you know, saving people's waves essentially, but we worded it a different way the first time. That I think we started calling it that at random, and
the first time was when you said you saved my wave, and I was like, yeah, you saved
yeah,
my
with
wave.
the dog. So my dog was begging Zio for food, and it was like, we didn't give her any human food at this point, but I'm like, you know, a little bit is not bad. I would always do a little bit, like every once in a while. So I gave her, like, she was begging him, and he's like, oh. It's like, dude, I hate whenever she starts begging, you know. I'm like, it was like kind of messing with me.
Because
right
I really
now.
wanted
And
to
so
give it to her, but I was
just
like, I
gave her a
know I
little bit.
shouldn't.
Yeah, I gave her a little bit, and he goes, oh, he's like, dude, that was actually making me really uncomfortable. I'm like, yeah, I just saved your wave, bro. And it was like kind of like a passing remark. And then later, like, there was this, when Amanda and I were together, she's sitting over here, and then Zio and I were like doing this improv shit where we were like making all these characters, and then the character that I made was like loud, like really loud. And it was like, so I'll tell you the character, because like we weren't actually, it was seriously improv. So we were sitting there, it was like, and I went like this, like I didn't actually hit anyone, but it was acting like, I'm abusing everyone. So I was like doing that to Zio, then I turned around to Amanda and did that, and she's like freaking out, and I'm like, oh
She was
fuck,
also,
I'm like, I forgot she used to be part of an abusive relationship, and I forgot that because we were playing this character, and I'm like, oh fuck, like how do I turn it? So I just went, all right, and I started like pressing on her chest, and I'm like, and she's like, no, like stop. I'm like, no, I'm the medic. He's gone. We took care of him, you know. So I went into improv again, just like continued with it, and then I'm like it's okay. And so then I started like, you know, oh, you're kind of cute, you know, just like messing with her. So she'd start laughing because she was actually freaking out. And so then I turned the panic into like laughter, which is a very similar wave, you know. And so then we started calling me Conscience the medic because of the medic scene right there. And we're like, yeah, dude. And then Zio's like, hey, now you just saved her wave. I'm like, yeah, dude, save the wave. Save the wave. Then we started chanting, save the wave. And then I threw up.
Literally just at the same and the throwing up was my fault, though. Because at the same time, we started going, save the wave, save the wave. Like, we both just caught on and clicked.
Yeah.
Because for months before that, we had been saying, like, oh, we got to come up with a name for ourselves for, like, the music we're making. Like, we got to come up with a name. And, like, every time we tried to get something, we're like, and I would be like, it'll come to us. I want it to, like, come to us. It'll be a spark. It'll be a moment where it just sparks, and we'll know exactly that that's the name. And that was that moment where we looked at each other. We were like, save the wave. We just knew. And then, like, a few minutes later, we were walking around, and I looked at him. I was like, dude, you look really pale.
Never
I have
tell
this bad
that
habit
to
of setting people up to be disastrous.
And then I like had to go to the bathroom. I was up in the bathroom. I'm looking at myself. I'm like, I am fucking pale. And I just went like, started like a horrible like from the diaphragm sort of deal. I'm like, dude, it was painful. Like I had to like unlock the door and open it. I just threw up on the ground because I thought I was dying. I'm like, if I'm dying, I need to make sure they can have access to me readily, you know.
Which we did eventually go up there and try to check on him, make sure he was all good. He came out just fine.
Like, oh, Kyle,
Minimal
No,
brain
you're
damage.
Okay, he's dead. Hey, he does look pale.
oh, there's puke on. Oh, he's okay.
Yeah, but of course. So me and Zio, you know, we've it's interesting because I've never had a friendship like this one before. Like it's like we've literally had moments where we kind of have to deal with each other being men at the same time. You know, it's like, you know, like
we can put it simple. We're both alphas, but like
assholes. No.
yeah, we're both we're both assholes, but we both also vibrate on like that higher level that make us go like, yeah, we're all top dogs here, but there's only one top.
Is either true or we're insane.
Exactly.
It's either true or we're insane. So we're not trying to. If I could suck my own dick, I'd be in the room right now. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. And actually, that reminded me that there was a certain part of the story that I really wanted to point out that I purposely. Go ahead.
How did him sucking his own dick remind you of his story?
It's because that's the situation. It was basically it wasn't him this time.
So
it was
we were
me.
sucking each other's dicks this one day.
No, so there was one day about 9 years ago, I think it said, or was it 7 years? Maybe it was 7 years ago. Something.
Oh, your memory or whatever. Or
yeah. I posted on Facebook saying I need a bro. Because in context,
and you put it in quotes.
I put bro in quotes because I meant in context. Like, I think I was like watching some TV show at the time where they were like two best friends and blah, blah, blah. I grew up moving around a lot. So I never got to have that like best friend that I grew up with, spent a lot of time with, go everywhere with, etc. And I posted, I was like, I need a bro. And Kyle commented, he was like, I'm your bro. And I was like, yeah, I meant like, you know, I need somebody who like knows everything about me. I'm always with them, da 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 da. And now, granted, that was long before we ever linked up and literally became exactly what he said he was. He was the only person, by the way, that commented on that other than my actual brothers. So, like, the fact that he commented on that saying, I'm your bro, and then to this day, he actually ended up being the one that became my bro. Like he's the one that like knows.
I said
everything
I'm your
about
bro.
me, like,
no quotes though.
Exactly, no quotes.
Yeah.
Exactly, and like to this day, he's my bro. No quotes. Like
Yeah, no
I literally
quotes,
call
though.
him my brother. If anybody asks, I'm like, this is my brother. And now certain people, obviously, we're different skin colors, so I'll be like, this is this is like my brother to me. Like I'll say that, but in reality, this is my brother, and like he did a great job of somehow predicting.
Well,
that was
I'm just-
destiny. If destiny exists, then that was it.
I'm just albino.
Yeah, he's with some really dark hair, but he's
Or,
albino.
what's the opposite of albino?
Oh crap! There's actually a word for it.
I know. You told me before. I thought.
It's been a while since I've used the word, so I forget. Melatonic, something like that.
Any more questions?
Not tonic.
No.
No. Hey man, that was some good conversation though.
That was good
so what's
conversation.
the next?
Well,
one?
me and Zio, man.
Oh shoot! Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually came down here to visit.
Nice. Yeah.
Me and Kyle actually messed around a lot, or not really messed around. No, messed around.
We'll be right back after these short messages.
I told you not to tell anyone.
I fucking told you.
No, but me and Kyle joked around about
First it
a
was
lot.
your aunt, now it's-
Our family's very close. Grandma, if you're watching, I'm sorry.
She's just laying in the hospital. No.
She's in the hospital.
You can tell we make dark jokes around here.
Wow, that's probably pretty loud in the podcast.
Yeah, that clipped.
My bad.
No, it's all good though.
Wake up, people.
Yeah.
But, we always joked around about me moving down here, and I came down here to visit in, was it probably late July?
Yeah, probably somewhere around there.
And I think the first time I visited, Zio wasn't here.
No, it's here.
Were you the first
No,
time?
I was
Yeah,
here,
your
but I
parents
left.
weren't here when he wasn't around.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first time Zio was. Oh yeah, you're working though. So me and Zio actually didn't hang out much. We saw each other one day, I think.
Yeah, I believe that's about it.
And I mean, to be honest with you,
I was working midnight, so
Zio has like the same personality as Kyle, and Kyle might be my cousin, but for some reason I feel closer to him as like a friend and a brother than a cousin. So
Yeah.
Zio has the same personality and the same ego as Kyle, even though Zio's a little chick. But we actually gained a pretty close friendship, and the second time I came down here, I wasn't here. No, did I come down here twice or did I just?
no, it was the second time because the first time. Okay, so
No,
the
second
first time
time
he
was
came
down.
down, I was
Yeah.
working midnights. The second time is when you moved in, I believe.
Yeah,
so-
But
so-
I was
yeah.
out at Ryan's place.
Yeah, because I think I talked.
Because that's
to
when his parents were around.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
because I
when
think I
remember.
was joking around with everyone and said, "Yeah, I'm gonna move in" and stuff like that because we talked about it.
Yeah.
And then over time, I found a job down here, or thought I found a job, and I forgot my some important information with me when I moved down here and lost a job. But moved in here, and me and Zio actually now work together and travel around the United States together. And
That's
I've been
badass,
to
dude.
literally multiple states, and it's been fun every time. Too. Like
Yeah.
it's tiring. Don't get me wrong, because it's for work, but it's still a great experience because we get to spend like hours just on the road listening
Just
to music.
talking
He introduced
and-
me to like NF. Like I'd heard of NF. I knew who NF was. He put me onto NF. NF, a great artist, by the way. Hope to work with him one day. But like, Donnie became my brother real fast.
it was
Real
like
fast.
a very close and fast connection. And actually, we traveled to 12 different states together now, and it's actually been a pretty good blessing to actually, not to try to get like weird, but have Zio in my life because I've been sick lately, and Zio's been there, and
It's actually where I was about to go too.
Zio's been there, and legitly, if I had a wife that was a guy.
It's like I said,
Zio-
Donnie became my brother real fast. So as soon as Donnie got sick, I was like, because I was sick for the first few weeks with him,
Yeah.
but even then, like I wasn't as sick as him. So when I told you like immediately coming back, I was like, dude, no, Donnie can't be down. This
And
is
I was going
freaking
through-
Donnie. Like anybody that knows Donnie, like and at his peak knows that Donnie. That probably wasn't even your peak, honestly. But anybody that knows Donnie knows that dude is up about working hard at
Yeah,
something. So
and now he's been bedridden. And the thing is, it was a weird time because when they came back, when they left about a week after, I'd gotten broken up with, and then Amanda stayed briefly for like 2 weeks, and then they came back for the last week of that.
Yeah, Mark
And
was here when
so
we came back.
yeah, when you
Yeah, yeah.
and then we were talking about how because that was when you had just gotten over COVID, right?
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, and so at that time, Zio came back and they're like, I don't know what we got, but we're both sick. Donnie's like, my fucking back hurts, bro. It's like I think it's my sciatic nerve. I've had this issue before, and he goes up, and he's been bedridden essentially, and I was like, so I was, we were all going through shit kind of alone. But the thing is, since Zio had the paternal instinct, he was helping out Donnie a bit with taking care of himself because Donnie couldn't really walk downstairs. His most of his time had been spent just getting up to go to the restroom and shower and stuff like that, and then going back to bed because he's got a cane and shit like that now. And Zio's been helping him out with bringing food and
at least he doesn't have
bringing
an
water.
Undertaker. Better a cane than an Undertaker.
Yeah,
Just saying.
exactly. The Undertaker, he will torment you.
Crazy part is, I just thought about this. This is the first, longest one, and the first weekend I've actually hung out with
Yeah.
downstairs.
Way
Yeah,
long.
yeah.
Like, dude, yeah, I was actually just thinking that
I
a
just
few,
thought
a
about
few
that.
moments ago. I was like, dude, you don't even look pale right now. Is anybody
No,
else
he
notice
looks
that? He doesn't
flush.
look pale right now.
He looks
flush
flush.
as hell.
You know what?
There's
Hold up, can we get sponsorship real
Sweats
quick?
actually says yo.
Bush Light.
Sweats says yo. What's up, y'all? And then he said, haha, you literally woke Kyle up and said you were doing a podcast, and he said fuck it.
Well, me because I'm wearing all this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. See, my thing is, there's a verse where I literally go like this. I literally go, I do not live in a mansion. I do not drive a Ferrari. I drive a fucking Hyundai piece of shit and don't care what I dress like. Sorry. I just want to be a bum.
But be wise and help people with stuff.
Exactly. And that's literally how I live. I don't really care about get up. I literally hung out with a female and wore pajamas. I ain't trying to. If you're not impressed with my personality, it's okay. Then we'll move on. Because if you need me to dress all fancy and shit and pay for meals, I ain't that guy. I'll pay for meals.
In Kyle's mind, he was going, you want to see what I got for you? Something to make you feel proud of me.
that was a good punchline.
Same song.
You know how we met? We actually met at Sweats. Sweats' live stream.
That's
So,
true.
yeah,
Tulip
welcome
Live.
Sweats. I'm glad Sweats joined. That's a great
Yeah.
time for him to join. Yeah.
That is.
Who wants to tell that story? You want to tell that one?
That's Mark.
Or-
Mark, both of you guys.
Well,
That's-
we were just jamming. That's pretty much what that was.
but what did
We
it turn
were-
into? We told the whole story about the show, the
Oh,
horrible
yeah,
show.
Right on, man. Yeah. So we
Back a little.
so yeah, we were just sitting there. Well, the first time was me, you, and Sweats,
Correct.
and that's when Sweats was just kind of introducing me as the blues man and all that, yada yada.
Yeah.
That name still hasn't stuck very well with me, but it is what it is. If you want to call me that, cool.
What do you go by?
Mark Perez.
That's what I was thinking.
Sick. I love that though. Like I love when an artist goes by their real name because it's like,
Yeah.
yo, this is me.
Well, especially when
It's-
a name rolls off the tongue like that. Too.
Yeah, like Mark
Yeah,
Perez.
yeah.
Like that's a sick
Yeah.
name to just roll
Yeah.
straight.
Now you
off
don't go
the
by
tongue.
Kyle Hartler. That's seriously, I don't like saying my name.
You go by Conscience Heartless Road. That's what you go by.
Yeah, Heartless Road. That's why I had that parody album, parody name of my last name. I liked my first album titles like that. But anyway, continue.
So yeah, so we did that live stream, and it was like kind of clicked well. I think we were like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
hell yeah, like this was a good time. Like we should do this again. And then, you guys kind of continue with it, and then I came on, like
Every once in a while.
yeah. So then like, I think actually the next time I came on, Zio was on, and you guys were kind of doing more of your act,
Yeah.
and I was just kind of in the background, just kind of throwing in some licks here and there.
Mhm.
And yeah, Zio seemed like to be kind of digging what I was doing, and he was like, "Yeah, man, like you really need to like put that on a recording, like of
'Cause
like
Mark-
the song."
I swear to God, every time I hear somebody who's a beast on an instrument and I've never heard them before, I'm like, dude, why have I not heard you before? Give me some of that.
Yeah, yeah.
And Kyle and Mark is not only a beast with the guitar, his vocals are also there too. Like he's nothing to sleep on. He's,
If you could learn how to like literally let loose with your voice, you'd be a force to be reckoned with vocally. I'm dead serious. Like there are
Nice,
many times
man.
where I've heard you sing
I
and it's like
appreciate that.
you're hitting like solid notes. I'm like, dude, if he just spoke from the diaphragm, bro, he'd be blowing people away. Like you would be a great singer, and you're still a great
I mean,
singer.
just listen to him talk. His voice just speaking
nice
is honestly
presence,
smooth
yeah.
as hell. Like he has
Oh,
a
yeah.
nice ass voice.
Well, I appreciate that.
But yeah, so the rest of that, like then Sweat started playing the show right after that, right?
Yeah. So then he started planning the show, and well, I think you guys were like kind of like the first ones in, and then
Yeah.
he asked me, and at first I was kind of like, all right, hip hop. Me kind of just throwing a couple licks here and there, like I don't know, but then I was kind of like, well, this is a cool thing. I've never been on stage like that before,
neither.
so I've done garage shows. Well, I did one garage show in high school, but never was like on a stage. So I was like, okay, whatever, check it out. And I mean, overall, I think the music was pretty cool. but the
performance was
the performance
the mixing was, it was the venue's fault, bro. They didn't give us time to mix.
The performance wasn't that bad, but it was just the mixing of the music.
That's what I'm saying. The performance was nice.
I also had the bad habit of not being sober, and so when I got there, I was toe up from the flow up,
under the influence.
And
I picked you up, and I didn't think you were drunk.
It's because I was too used to drinking at that time, so I knew how to make it seem like I wasn't drunk. But as soon as we got there, I was in the bathroom for like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you were like just playing it off like you were nervous.
Yeah, I was torn. That's the thing. I wasn't nervous. I was just upset that I was sick. I was like, this is trash.
I told people that so they wouldn't think that
he's like an alcoholic or something.
Yeah, exactly.
You need help, Zio. No.
Hi, I'm Zio, and I'm
Hi,
addicted to
Zio.
porn. Fuck. That's not what I was supposed to say.
That means on Tuesday nights.
Oh, which
Mark,
one's this one?
Mark, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What got you started into music? What's the backstory of you in music?
Great question.
Well, honestly, dude, like for me, I just was always into music. Like growing up, it was just a thing in my house. My dad had a record player. He'd be playing just some random music. In fact, like some of my earliest memories were just sitting around like in the basement listening to Monster Mash. My dad had my dad had like a Halloween vinyl record, and it had like a bunch of different like songs from that time period. And so that was one thing. And then The Who was pretty big in the because I would go downstairs and my dad would be working out. This is when we were living in Griffith. And yeah, he'd be working out, and maybe a couple of my cousins would be there. And the music that was always playing was like The Who, Led Zeppelin, Bruce Springsteen, Black Sabbath. Those are like the big ones that I remember growing up. And so rock and roll, Motown from my mother. My mother would be cleaning, and Motown would be playing. So for the longest time, Motown and Pine Saw kind of went hand in hand. Like it was a weird thing to kind of get over, because even still today, like certain songs, like I smell Pine Saw.
I'm wondering because I feel like it's something my mom
that's
did.
the same feeling I get with like old gospel music and morning times. Like if
I'm
I
wondering,
open up the
there has to be
blinds with the
something
light shining through, I'm immediately hearing gospel music in my
Yeah.
head from my mom. So yeah,
There has to be something because my mom, whenever I smell, first of all, the smell of Pine Saw is great.
that's the power of Pine Saw.
Oh yeah, the power of Pine Saw is the smell. Let's get that. But yeah, I don't remember what songs my mom would listen to, because I know so she got me into Paul Simon, like
Nice.
and I love Paul Simon. He's got like the smooth vocals that you could tell influenced Adam Sandler's singing career. Like you ever hear Adam Sandler singing like The Wedding Singer?
He's good, man.
Yeah, but he sounds like Paul Simon.
Definitely.
And Paul's like he's just a beast, bro. His flows as a folksy sort of singer are just amazing. Like I don't know how you write that. You know what I mean? He's a good guy to learn from. But I don't remember. Definitely. I know she loved Prince, so I'm assuming she listened to a lot of Prince, but I don't recall it. The only thing I remember is my dad listened to a lot of old school country, which is why even though I hate country, I still kind of got some respect for old country, especially since a lot of that's blues influence, and I think blues is probably one of the most impressive genres of all time. I think the best genre, of course, for me would have to be hip hop, and then after that would be blues.
Fucking Sweats.
What do you say?
Sweats over blowing up the chat. All right, so Zio is looking like a delectable piece of dark chocolate.
Always.
Thank you, sweats. Don't give me the sweats. That felt wrong, yo.
He was
Nah,
talking about
thanks,
he was talking about Till Death concert. It was badass regardless.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Zio was puking chunks.
Not on stage, by the way.
And then
That was part of the badassery of the show, bro.
Like,
We all Family Guy vomited on each other and
smells
shit.
and music are a thing to me too, Mark. Yeah, that's right, Sweats. But yeah, to kind of go back to like how I got into music though, like guitar playing and all that. So throughout like elementary school, like it was basically just what my parents were playing. Modern music never really vibed with me. Like I never could really get into it. I think mainly because it was just like it was hip hop and rap, and just for me, like I didn't grow up like with that kind of like what they were talking about. Like I just didn't get with it, because I just that wasn't like the life for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
That's fair.
So I mean, just didn't get with it, and then So yeah, so in middle school is really when I started picking up my own like musical taste, like not just what my dad was listening to per se. Like he might have been listening to it back in the day, but like around us, not really. Like I picked up on like a lot more like CCR, Creedence Clearwater Revival. I would dabble more like deeper into the artists that my dad would listen to. Meaning like I would go out and get the albums and I'd listen to not just the hits, but like
Didn't you do vinyl
all
too?
I got into vinyl later,
Okay.
but yeah, I was mainly just buying CDs. I got into Pink Floyd pretty deeply in high school.
They're great. You showed me some of their stuff.
Nick
Guitar,
Flaherty was
they're
actually the
great
one
for
that got
guitar.
me into Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
Like that's why I call him Nick Floyd to this day. Like, dude,
Flaherty was a big Floyd fan. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Queen's my favorite of all the classic rock groups. So, because what I was gonna say with hip hop, the reason why I like hip hop is because it's the most, in my opinion, the most flexible of genres by far. And the thing is, like, there are not many people in other genres that experiment much. So that's why I appreciate Queen. Is because they're classic rock, but they experimented a fuck.
Queen is my
ton,
favorite
bro.
band. Let me just throw that out there. Like of that genre.
21 Pilots
Queen
are my
is
favorite band ever.
of that genre specifically.
Okay,
Queen is
that
my favorite
that
of
genre, hands down.
So, I mean, I also
Hands
have
down.
Linkin Park, who's
Yours?
also my favorite band of.
Yours is one that Ozzy was in, Black Sabbath.
favorite?
Favorite for a little bit, I thought it was because in the car you were listening to a lot of them.
I think band wise, yeah, maybe at that time.
Okay,
I kind of go
bounce.
I bounce.
I do the
back
same.
and
I
forth.
bounce back. Like 'cause right
It's-
now, I've been listening mainly like Billie Eilish.
Okay.
I just bounce.
Billie Eilish is a beast, though. Let's
She's
just throw
sick.
that out there.
Her
like,
brother's a great
yeah,
producer and she's a great
Phineas
singer.
is sick.
And I've started listening to Phineas' solo, and it's great.
Speaking of old bands, we actually have a cousin that was a drummer for Aerosmith.
Really,
Mhm.
Brooks? No, Brooks is a guitarist.
Mm-mm.
Who? Second cousin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sandro's telling me about him. I guess I think it was Aerosmith, one of the older bands.
Nice.
Another band that I respect heavily, Aha. Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, they're great. They did
On
the
Me.
original Take on Me.
Song
Take on
always
Me is
shines
just
on
one of the
TV.
best songs
They're
of all time.
amazing,
Especially if you like in run, like my favorite song to run to whenever it comes on. If I'm playing my shit on shuffle, Take on Me, bro. Like it's it's so
Each step you
nice.
take is on beat.
It's so nice. Why?
Classic rock's probably the only rock I can stand to listen to.
Yeah.
That's what I was growing up on. Is that's all Dad listened to, Mom listened to, The Doors,
Oh yeah.
Queen,
Doors, man.
Aerosmith.
One of the first time I heard the Doors was with one of the first times I really sat and listened to it was with my Uncle Andy. It was like in a car ride to the flea market in Elsip actually. And he put on I believe it was Riders on the Storm. And we were just listening to that like on the car ride there. And I just remember that cuz it was like it's just one of the perfect song to ride to. Like you don't even need rain. Like it's just a cruising song, you know. And yeah, so that's my Doors experience for you.
Dude, my
But-
favorite Doors songs, Hello, I Love You.
Oh man, yeah.
I need to hear the Doors. I know they're good.
The End.
I don't remember their songs.
The End is
Is
probably
that
one of my favorite ones.
This is the end, my friend, or whatever. My only
This
friend.
is the end, my only.
Yeah, okay.
friend.
I knew a song by them.
The
at least.
end.
My favorite
great
Doors
song.
is the one
Mama.
in those, like Chinese restaurants that go bing bong when you walk.
Mama.
No, that's just the guy who says that.
And then he says, "I want to fuck you, mama."
that reminded me of
That
just
was like
Down,
in
Down
the,
with the Sickness by Disturbed. Do you remember that breakdown in Down with the Sickness?
Dude, I love Down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, where he
At the
screams.
end.
That was my dad's favorite part too. Like, my dad also listened to a lot of classic rock, or no, not classic rock. He listened to a lot of like modern rock, and so this is where you're gonna judge my dad. He actually likes Nickelback, and I don't see why people hate Nickelback.
I don't hate
Neither
Nickelback.
do I. I don't hate Nickelback.
I understand.
I mean,
they're not like the top tier, but
Look
they're
at
good.
this graph.
That was the best meme I've ever seen, by the way. That's still my favorite meme because his face is so fucking stupid in it.
But okay. So with that said,
Fucking sweats, dude.
What do you say?
Now he's saying, I hear they sell sex at the flea market. Who's down?
at the Alsip flea market, I never saw them selling sex. I would've-
No, they
Never
don't.
mind.
He's just talking shit. He's trolling, and I'm reading his comments like a dumbass.
Well, remember that there was a certain person that we will not name that was commenting on Luke's stuff for a long time that I told Luke to start ignoring because it was ruining his live streams.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's
And he was always engaging with them like, dude, he is ruining your live streams.
he's probably watching this one.
Hey, he doesn't know who he is.
Oh no, he's all of us.
No! You just gave it away.
Thing is, I'm new here and I think I know who it is.
Yeah, because of that fucking sentence.
At first, I was thinking to myself like, "Do I know this person?"
All right, we'll say it's Douglas McClure, this crazy guy that I used to know.
It's
Is
also
39.
Clam Gravelson.
Well, he was 39 when I
Ricky.
first met him, but he's a dude. His name is Douglas McClure. I'm not gonna tell you where he lives. I'll tell you his full name because I don't give a shit. But if I tell you where he lives, you can find his address because that's how he and I originally had our falling out. Was I told him where he lived, and he's a crazy guy. I used to like Skype with him and Max, and this dude literally believed that he was Satan. He had killed God and merged powers. He could sing like Elvis, and he really could. Like, he believed he was a reincarnation of Elvis. He believed he was a reincarnation of Hitler. And he could sing like Elvis. He could sing like Frankie Valli, dude. No, like, I swear to God, this one time I was on the phone with him, and he's like,
why?
And he's like, Mark,
Why?
and he goes, and he's like, I could sing like Frankie Valli. And this is when I was obsessed with Frankie Valli, and he sings, and he genuinely sang like Frankie Valli, like similar resonance. And I'm like, holy shit. Maybe this dude is God. No, I didn't say that. But and so anyway, like we would always throw him because like he was like toxic. He was a talented dude, but he was toxic because of his craziness. And
All he needs is help. All he needs is help.
exactly. But this is
Fuck you, Sweats.
yeah. I'm hoping that Douglas isn't watching though, so it doesn't seem like I'm telling all these stories. about him.
Yo. Anyways,
Yeah.
so
We're deleting that comment.
we spoke about how
What do you say?
how Mark got into.
He mentioned it.
I tried to save it with a bullshit story. Come on.
And
Actually, I don't know if you
deleted
could delete
that.
YouTube, so. Yeah.
Nah, it
Well,
was a real story. That actually didn't happen though.
We hear about how
Douglas
Mark
say.
got into music. Was that the full story? Or was there more?
Well, no, so
This isn't monetized. We
So
can't
it's
even
actually-
say the same full names.
it's actually crazy because, well, for me, it's crazy because, like, I always genuinely loved music. I loved listening to music all my life. But, like, as far as playing, like, I had tried it, like, when I was in elementary school. And it's just, like, it wasn't a thing for me at the time. I never saw myself playing. And then I was in the martial arts for, like, about 5 years. And because of, like, just school and everything, school and just, it was kind of just getting a little bit too much, like, as far as, like, schedule-wise. So I quit martial arts, and then I was just kind of, like, sitting around, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try it again. You know, I'm like, you know what? I want to play. I want to play guitar again. So Mr. Sean, TJ Sean's dad, was like, he was always telling me like, hey, you know, if you ever want to play again, you know, I'll give you lessons. And so I took him up on it, like, after years of him telling me that. So yeah, like, that was my sophomore year. So that was like 2000 and like the end of 2010. I picked it up again, and I had an Oscar Schmidt acoustic guitar. It was like a junior model, so like my hand, like, I could wrap my entire hand like around the neck. Yeah, it was.
Does that make it easier to play, actually? Or like, cause I kind of suck at playing guitar because of the fact that, like, the stretch of the fingers and having to position them perfectly, I have a terrible time with that. So like,
Yeah, you know what? No, with acoustic, you still have to press down on the strings. You know, like, it's a different, like, playing style, or it's different, like, the way that you resonate, the how you make the string resonate.
Yeah.
You have to try harder. On an electric guitar, because it's, you know, amplified, it's more sensitive, so you don't have to put as much effort into
nice.
playing or playing chords.
So do you
I
think
can never
it's
figure it
easier
out.
then, or it's harder by chance? Because you like,
I think an electric guitar is easier to play,
it is easier.
which is-
hands down.
which
yeah.
is why
I've never played electric. I've only played
I've
acoustic.
watched other people play it, and like I think I've watched you play it, and that's how I figured out how it works because it's so sensitive that you don't have to strum.
I need to
You
learn
could
to
literally
play
just go.
electric.
I've seen
Like,
people
I-
play it.
Oh, you
If
just
it's-
hit
if
the
it's
note.
high enough, you just go
yeah.
and it plays.
Nice.
But
You
like
still have to strum. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, it's
of course, obviously,
that's
it's
if you're
played by
doing
you.
like
Imagine
pull offs.
maybe I wasn't paying enough attention when you did it then because it didn't look like you were strumming. I just thought like when you were pressing the buttons, I'm like, holy shit!
It's
Like,
easier
not
to do
pressing the
hammer-ons.
string. Sorry.
Which is when you hit the note,
With Guitar
and then
Hero.
you hit it. Instead of hitting the note for another note on that string, you just hit the string again, like where you want to play the next note,
You know,
and it'll resonate.
so the difference between a non-guitar player and a guitar player, at one point, Zio was trying to show us with his hands, and he looked
awkward as
a
hell.
little
by doing
awkward,
this,
right?
Yeah.
And then you're doing it, and you're just like, yeah, it's like comfortable, and your wrist has no tension. Like
Exactly. Versus me, who like I learned to play, but I never got good at it because of the finger positioning. And
Yeah.
I can't really like. I swear, reaching around the neck. I don't know if I just have too small of hands or what it is, but I could never like get that button positioning and switch up right and press down as hard as you need to.
Yeah.
Acoustics are just. Excuse my language. Just a bitch.
yeah. No, we've been
Difficult as
cussing.
hell
Fuck
to
it.
get used to.
They're. It's not that they're like extremely difficult to play.
Yeah, no.
It's just
Game it.
if you've never played, like if you're just starting off, you want to play
Check
on
out
an
the game.
acoustic.
You have to play consistently
build-
so that you get the callus.
You build your strength in your wrist too.
Ah.
Like it's a good thing to play acoustic. In fact, any guitar
game, bro.
instructor will tell you play on an acoustic first, because that's how you build up your hand strength and calluses, like you said. But so yeah, Mr. Stishan was like, hey, we'll start on. I think I was going in on Fridays, like after school, and I just went with it, man, and I've been playing ever since. I got really into the blues like in high school, and so I really kind of that's what I really dabbled into, just kind of learning the blues and
Yeah, as an instrumentalist, would you say? Because that's something I know a little bit of piano, a little bit of trumpet. I think. Do you think that developing a genre helped you to improve yourself faster? Because I feel like that's what was missing with piano, and because every person I ever talked to that plays an instrument, you and Drew and Uncle Lauren, you guys all gravitate toward a specific genre. Uncle Lauren and you gravitate toward the blues. Drew goes a little bit more jazzy with it and pop with it.
I think that it helps you to like to a certain like goal, like you want to be a good rock and roll player, or you want to be a good reggae guitar player. You're working towards that goal, but then like once you kind of get to a point, it's like you kind of get comfortable,
Yeah.
which is why it's good to kind of expand, not just play the
Yeah, get
blues
past
or
it.
not just play. That's how you
Have you
become-
expanded
Yes and no.
to what, like
I've-
reggae? I'm assuming, since that was the first thing you mentioned. Have you done reggae?
I've tried a little bit of reggae. Yeah, it's actually in one of the songs that I play with Mike and Nick, we kind of do a little reggae strumming in one of the songs.
Nice.
Every day when you're walking down the street, and everybody that you meet has an original point of view.
You hit those notes. You missed like one, but you hit most of those notes.
I feel like I missed most, so good. Nice.
No, you hit most of them. That was nice.
But yeah, the best way to become even better is, like I said, to expand and find different genres to play.
Yeah.
That's Carlos Santana, I would say, is a really great example of that, because even though he's like a Latin groove player, like you can tell throughout his entire history, or the entire history of Santana, he's played blues style songs, African, style songs.
Nice. That's
You
what I
know,
like about Paul Simon. He's done similar
Yeah,
stuff.
like he's just, and that's you always like. I think you'll always have like a specific style. Like you'll always, like for me, I'll probably always be a more blues style player, but like
You could put a
you'll-
couple of
I could try
jazzy
to
licks in
I
there.
can go into like a Latin or like a more Latin style groove and play blues style like solos over it, but that it still sounds
cohesive.
Latin, yeah,
musically
like-
cohesive. Yeah.
you
And
know what I'm
that's-
trying to say? Like it's
Exactly.
you're always gonna have that style in your back pocket. Like it's always
Yeah.
gonna come out no
Well,
matter what.
So I actually like the phrase like musically cohesive, because there was this one time where Bo Burnham had a line like that where he was saying like this. It wasn't a line; it was like an ad lib. Where he had this one song where it got like noisy. It was still musically, I thought it sounded cool. Then he
Switch
he
is
goes in the middle of it
blowing
as an
it
ad
up.
lib. He goes, yeah. At this point, it's not even musically cohesive. And I'm like, because everything's all noisy and shit. But what did Luke say? No, say it.
No, he's just
I have this peer pressure.
he said there are other ways to build hand strength, dog.
Build hand strength.
And he also and he also removed it. So
So everybody, if anyone could screenshot that, and if you got this recorded, everyone screen clip just sweats, and there are other ways to build a hand strength, dog. And then we will use it if we ever get famous. We'll have that forever.
Yes.
And we'll make it an album cover for one of our albums.
One of ours.
One of ours.
And yes,
So everyone will hear it.
Bong bong bitty bong bong. Because I was actually that going to that story.
Yeah.
Speaking of reggae, because I mentioned reggae, because I've been kind of getting more into reggae, like listening to it. And one of the artists that I started listening to is a guy called Ika Mouse, and he's got like his voice is annoying, because it's kind of like high pitched, but like the music is still kind of cool. But what he does is he's
like a Tiny Tim type.
He's like a reggae. No, he's not that high pitched.
Okay, good.
But he's like a reggae scat musician. He'll
Right.
like you'll have like a basic reggae thing, and then he'll just be like bitty bang bang bitty bang bang bitty bang. You know, like yeah, it's an acquired taste, I would say.
Yeah.
But
I like a lot of weird music. As long as it sounds good, dude. Like, I've actually liked some Tiny Tim songs.
Tiny Tim,
Like, listen.
if you ever get a chance,
That
look
dude is
him
not
up.
tiny, by the way. He's huge. He's like 6'5".
Hell yeah.
Anyway, what?
I think it was Highway to Hell. He does a version of Highway to Hell.
What? I'd love to hear that.
He sings normal, like for a little bit.
He's got a bassy voice. His actual
Yeah.
speaking voice is bassy as
like
shit.
when I say normal, like how most people sing,
Yeah.
not Tiny Tim normal.
Yeah, not the...
Yeah. But he'll be like he's singing it, and he goes I'm on a highway, and then he goes to hell, and he like just goes all the way up, and you're like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Like, but it's
He's impressive.
it's cool.
He made pretty much fucking all of SpongeBob's music. Like
Oh,
a
shit.
lot of SpongeBob music was Tiny Tim.
my buddy Lee Maleth joined in. He said LOL, so he's making a mockery of the stream. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, man.
No.
Come on. We put our heart and soul into this.
No, Lee Maleth
Thank
is
you
the
for
guy.
joining, bro.
Lee Maleth has been on the show. Actually, he's been on a Vault Talk, and he's also played Five Nights at Freddy's with us.
Nice.
So if you
Wait,
get a
Five
chance-
Nights at Freddy's, the original.
Yes,
So the one that like originally gave people nightmares.
yes, yes.
Nice.
Oh yeah,
That feels so much better, dude. Yeah, man.
yeah.
Taking my
Lee is
leg
a good
back.
guy. Lee is a good guy.
Shout out Lee.
I don't know, you guys. My back was getting uncomfortable as hell.
Dude,
man.
I've been going back and
I've
forth.
been
Same.
doing this for the
Back.
longest. Just
Yeah, man.
I might as well put on a straight jacket.
It
without
sucks because I'm trying to get this to somewhere where. Actually, I'm getting good sound now, so
Hey,
maybe
now
I'll
if
just
we're-
lean back now.
If we're talking about history with how everyone got started with music, maybe it's your turn to say how you got started with music, because you've been making music since 8.
Yeah. I don't know how old you were when you got into music, Mark. Like the exact age, but
Well, I
Sophomore
was
year.
in high school when
Sophomore
I
year,
started
right?
playing. Yeah,
sophomore was
so
like your okay, cool. Well, yeah, the first rap I wrote, I was 8 at the time. It was terrible, but it was inspired by the Lloyd Banks verse in the PIMP G mix.
Yeah.
Because he goes at one point, he goes, "You need to switch over and roll with a star. I'll get you far. I'm a PIMPGANGSTER." And so my verse, the first verse that I wrote, like that is memorable to this day. I started by saying, "I'm a PIMPGANGSTER. Can't nobody mess with me because I'm a pimp gang star." It was lame, but but to this day, my entire family remembers it. And I don't know. I spent a lot of time because this was like obviously again I was 8. This is early 2000s, so I would like get on the computer, open up Paint, make the background one color and then the lyrics another color, and I would just start typing out like terrible lyrics. Yeah, Kyle knows what I mean.
Yeah. I remember all the avenues of creation back in them days. I've been making YouTube videos since like 10, and I remember I would go on like Windows Movie Maker, and it'd be fucking similar
was
to that
trash,
Paint
but it
shit
was-
you were
it was-
talking about. Yeah.
But back then it was fun. It was
Oh,
like
yeah.
it was the best way to pass time. It was before
yeah.
cell phones
Hands
were
down.
like always in your hand.
Hands down.
But yeah, so I got music that way. I got into music that way. Around the age of 10, I lived in Mississippi. Met up with my guy Dion. We formed a rap group for a short while I stayed in that area for the short while I stayed there.
Wait a second, you've had other rap groups before me?
Oh yeah, quite a few.
As you say, the wave ends.
This is it. I can't do it anymore. You never told me about these past relationships.
So yeah, in Mississippi, I had the rap group with my buddy Dion. We mostly made music that was like it was original lyrics for the verses, but all like the choruses and like song ideas were inspired by other famous things. I was 10 at the time.
No, that's honestly how a lot of music creation happens, or even some larger people they get influenced.
Exactly. Like in fact, the first way, the way I got into rapping lyrically was because I wrote a line. Again, this was when I was like 11. It was the same year, but like my birthday passed. I wrote a line to a Them Franchise Boys song, in which I said, "Taste my cinnamon toast punch, the taste you can feel." And it was lame, but I was proud of it because I was like, "That's
You're a
kind of
kid,
cool." Because
yeah.
the commercial for cinnamon toast crunch, say the taste you can see. I said the taste you can feel. It was terrible, but
That's how you get into wordplay though, because I'm
Exactly.
like no, you continue. Actually, I want to hear the rest of this.
oh, well,
Now that I
yeah,
think about it.
I was actually gonna let you say, but yeah, like, that was basically that was basically how I got into trying to come up with punchlines and metaphors, etc., wordplay basically. Eventually, I moved back up to Illinois with my dad and linked up with Ryan, the man, super producer.
He's still dope. He's
He
still
is
sick as hell.
Amazing, fucking love him. He's my brother as well, even though he's my cousin. He's my brother. And he and I formed a rap group for a while, and we were making music. And just anytime he and I link up together, we're basically just constantly one up on each other. We're like, okay, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, and we're just like keep on going back and forth. The same way Kyle and I are now. So that's why I say again, Kyle became my brother fast because he joined it. But Ryan and I, we formed a rap group named Flowwood ENT. We still have so much history with that. We got songs on MySpace. Like we were going for a while. We got tracks with Mecca. Shout out to Mecca again, actually. I was going by Lil Bang at the time though. This is around the time I really started taking rap seriously around the time I was 11. And
Yeah.
so by the time
You went by Lil Bang?
Yeah, Lil Bang was the first. I know, and it's cringy as heck, but like
Titty boy.
I don't mind. But see, I don't mind it though because again, I honestly feel like every piece of your journey to becoming who you are is so important. And like even though that's the cringy part, I'm like, dude, I was a little ghetto kid from Chicago.
Bro.
Like I was from the Jeffrey Manor in Chicago, so like Lil Bang sounded hard to me back then. That's what I thought I had to be.
You wanna know my first rap group name?
Yes, please.
It's literally not good. It's literally KZ.
It was not good.
KZ 2381.
So in the year
It was a
2381,
fucking
you and I have to
username.
make a group called KZ.
KZ, yeah, because it was me and my cousin Zach. Well, he's not really my cousin, but I grew up with him like a cousin, and he and I started making music together. I started making it when I was like 14, and it was usually like parody shit. Like I was in like 8th grade, I think, when I started making music, and so it was just like parody music. It was like we had this one song where I had this one song I wrote where I was like sitting there bored in class, and there was that one song that goes. You know, the looking for a hero to idolize and everything with the long eye.
Dude, I sampled that.
Yeah,
that was the Liberty's Kids theme song.
That one. Okay, so
Looking
I wrote
at
parody.
life through
Yes,
my
yeah.
own eyes, searching for a hero to idolize.
So that song, and Bill Nye the Science Guy. I changed all the long eyes to the word pie. And even my teacher found it hilarious because it was just stupid, you know. Like she literally read it. She's like she was wondering what we were all reading. She was a nice teacher, and then she's like, let me see. And so we gave it to her, and then she's reading it, and she's just like, what? All you did was write down all these lyrics and change them to pie. I think I'm playing these shows too much.
So Angelo Mitchell says, "Hey,
Yo, Angelo, what's up, bro?
Angelo?
How you feeling?
What's going on, Angelo?" And as far as this little Sweats and my buddy Lee thing going on here,
okay,
Lee, just ignore Sweats.
They're battling.
No, he's just like Sweats is bothering him, man.
Oh.
He's like, hey Lee, he's like, I'm gonna join you on Facebook, and then he goes on Facebook and he's like, what's up, Lee? You know, just quit harassing him.
Luke's just trolling.
Yeah.
So I got like when I was 14, I was doing all those, and
he says, Lee, you sexy son of a bitch. How you doing, cuz?
Hey, Mark is a sexy son of a bitch.
And
don't refer to anyone else that way. Well, actually, I don't want to say that because I feel like I just called your mom a bitch. That's not the case.
Ooh.
I love you and your family, bro.
Ooh.
Actually, it didn't sound like that
until you said it.
because I'm not used to calling people son of a bitch. And so when I said it,
yeah.
Oh,
I've always realized that. I'm like, son of a bitch is kind of actually a pretty aggressive insult.
Yeah, like
I've realized that
Jesus
when I was
Christ,
like,
man.
But
I did not feel okay coming out of my mouth.
So you started making punchlines when you were 10, right?
When I was 11 was like the first time I wrote a punchline. It was weak. When I was 12 was when I started thinking punchlines are everything.
I am not jealous of you,
Oh
Luke.
yeah. Well, that becomes a lot of rappers' mentality. Well, because I started writing rap probably a year after 8th grade. I think freshman year of high school, and me and Zach made a group called KZ2381. I didn't know what to go by, so I was just kind of rapping. And I like whenever Watsky's song "Pale Kid Raps" or "White Kid Raps Fast,"
nice.
when that came out, I just
Over
wrote
2014,
I wrote a rap called "White Boy Raps Good" or something like that, just like as a fuck around song. And then like Zach and I before that had done a few other parodies. Like we did a Panda Express rap and shit like that. But then after that point,
Mine and I
Fucking
have a
Lee.
Chick-fil-A song. Just throwing that out
yeah,
there.
and at like 14 or 15, I was doing the same thing you were doing when you were 8 because I think I stole like a line by Eminem and like for like 3 of my first songs because I grew up listening to Eminem, you know.
Yeah.
And of course I'm a
And yeah,
white
that's the age
rapper.
that I really got into Eminem. Like
Yeah, and then I
Eminem
stopped
before that,
listening
that's the age that I
17.
got-
I stopped listening to Eminem at like 17 when I got into 21 Pilots. So I'm like, I need to start, expanding my horizon a little bit.
MMLP too.
But yeah, and so when I was 15, I was writing all these like first songs. I had like a couple of good punchlines, like really good punchlines, and I'm like, okay. And I did the same thing you did, where my first album was a lot of punchlines, and then after a while, I'm like, I want to start writing like deeper stuff. So then eventually, I had to build into that, and you have to go through a little bit of heartbreak and everything, and then now it flows out. Now I get
I
introspective.
think that's the thing
so.
that every rapper who appreciates Eminem enough or who like puts Eminem up on a high bar goes through at some point in the process of becoming a rapper is going like it has to be punchline after punchline, word that rhymes after word that rhymes, and like that's why nowadays so many people that come out rapping like that, they're like, oh, you're an Eminem ripoff because you can tell like, yeah, you got your style by listening to that kind of music where it's like,
Yeah, everyone gets their style somewhere. I listen to Eminem a lot, and I don't think I sound like anyone. Like I don't think there are people.
You
that,
sound like this guy I know,
Yeah.
Conscience the Medic.
no, he's trash, bro. Fuck him.
Nah, dude is sick. I swear, he's like the only person that I actually can say might be maybe on my level. Maybe.
He's trash.
I agree. But no. So what are they bickering about anyway?
Oh, nothing. They're actually they've started attacking me now.
Oh,
So Lee says square up, and then because I've actually called Lee Luke a couple times in the throughout the time that I've kind of been talking with him again.
yeah.
So he calls me Mike now. So he says, "Okay,
Nice.
Mike."
I call you
So-
Marcus.
Yes, you do.
Marcus is funny. Really? I call him
No,
Marcus.
actually, he's never called me Marcus.
I've called you Marcus like twice. I called you Marcus earlier on purpose.
I didn't even realize it.
I do it just to fuck with you though. Because then I also call like Sachin. I call him such a nice guy.
But
'Cause he is
Sachin is
such
such
a
a
nice
nice guy.
Yeah, he really is. Sachin is a really.
Sachin's a
And
good
I've only
dude.
ever
He's
met him
probably
on one
watching.
stream, so that's like
What up, Sachin? If you're watching.
Sachin's awesome, bro. I've always really respected that dude. He's a genius.
But yeah, I got into Eminem right around the time that, like, just shortly after I got into constantly doing punchlines in every song. It's like a couple years later, I really got into Eminem because it was basically in 2009. I stayed with my brother Doja, and I was listening to just nothing but legendary music. I was listening to Bone Thugs eventually released Unit 5. That was a sick album. Jay-Z released Blueprint 3. That was a sick album. And then Eminem released Recovery. And
2011.
listening to
2010.
2010.
Yeah.
And so listening to all of those,
I listened to it in 2011 because I never listened to albums right away. I don't know why.
I was staying with nothing but musicians at the time and actors and people who are huge on that. Shout out to Authentic, by the way. So yeah, I got into the habit of not just rapping for punchline after punchline, and instead trying to come up with like wordplay and stories more often. And never really got great with stories.
I'm not a story rapper.
Yeah,
Dude,
but I did at least get better at being more deep and personal because of the Eminem side of that, like listening to him rapping about Haley and all that stuff. I was at an old enough age to actually really feel the lyrics at that point, so that's when I got really deep into.
I grew up with them. I loved songs like that. That's why I wanted to get introspective, like quickly, because like I loved songs like that growing up, and I loved like even like My Life by Grits, fucking great song, bro. Like I love songs where they get, even if it's about like whatever it's about, as long as they're getting deep with it and like it feels like it's from the heart. I'm like, I can always appreciate that. I love people that speak from the heart. So if you're rapping from the heart, if you're singing from the heart, I'm with you. What were you gonna say, Mark?
Oh, nothing important.
Oh,
I was just gonna say that my the left side of my sack was just sticking to my leg, so I kind of had to adjust.
Nice segue. That reminds me.
And,
No, I'm just kidding.
But no, yeah. So Lee says no hate in the chat. We are all fine.
yeah, Mike.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lee. You
I
are
get
correct
called
on
Carl
all
a lot.
positive vibes.
You get called Carl.
If I call because I don't say my name much, so I'll be on the phone. I'll go, hey, this is Kyle, and I say like Kyle because I don't say the name often.
Kyle.
Yeah, this is Kyle. My name's Kyle. I don't say Kyle. I don't know why. So
Kyle.
every time I'll be
It's
talking
because,
to someone on the phone,
Kyle is somehow 2 syllables.
Yeah, and exactly. And growing up, dude, swear to God, every other person they'd go around the room, they go Zio, Donnie, Mark, and then they go to me and they go Kyle. And then some people will go, no, it's Kyle. And there was like a whole thing in class in like first grade where people were trying to figure out how many syllables my name has. And it was actually like, it took up a lot of
words.
time.
I used to feel that way about the word
Wow.
fire. The fact that fire is 2 syllables is weird.
That
to me.
actually, I forgot that happened, but I do remember like that was like, I always genuinely could not figure out. So that's why I just say my name is Kyle. And then I'll go, I work at a place called All Face. I go, All Face, this is Kyle. And they're like, hey, Scott, this is, and I'm like, motherfucker. And some people come back, they go, yeah, I was speaking, I think Carl. I'm like, dude, I get Scott because this is Kyle. It sounds like Scott if you say it on the phone.
No,
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
hear it, yeah.
Well, then my last
You
name
don't
being
listen.
Hartler Road. What?
If you don't listen.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Well,
did
you get
that like
Hartler
that
Road.
Zio guy.
Hartler Road. My mom was called Miss Harlan Rod when she was like a preschool teacher.
Harlan Rod?
Don't know. That was preschool. But then like someone called her Miss Heartless Road, and then that's how my first album came about. Then I was coming up with titles, and I'm like, Heartless Road. That sounds cool. Like,
Growing up playing football and stuff like that, I always get called the wrong name. Like the names
yeah.
really-
Sowless.
Well, Sowls.
No, my first name especially.
Dony?
Dony.
Oh God.
Sowls. I'm like,
Dony Sowls. Dude, where do they think we live? In Seoul, South Korea?
he's
Oh my god.
he's a big white boy. Dony Sowls. No.
I mean, wait. So okay, if we're talking about names, then
Dony
notice how you
Soles?
said Zio.
Dony Soles?
Let's get down to the nitty gritty then. You said how Kyle was difficult, and I was Zio. Let's go to my real name. No, imagine the fact that I spent the first 13 years of my life going by Namdi, not Namdi. Namdi.
You know what they should say? Like
Their
they should
names
say
are-
like Namdi.
Namdi. No, but like the N actually technically is held in a way. My name is pronounced Namdi,
Yeah.
and it sounds like I'm only saying one N, but that's because you just start by going and then say Namdi. And
It just sounds
Or
like you're
you can
hesitating
say
to
Zio.
say a name.
but it's because
It's like,
my
I
name,
should put
my
two
name
Ks.
starts with 2 N's.
Mine should start with 2 Ks. Kyle.
Well, see, it's just
You can't hold a K unless you make it phlegmy.
It's crazy.
Kyle.
It's crazy. The first day, like I told, or Zio worked with me, I legitimately told him, I said, Zio, if you go by Namdi, I swear to God, I'm gonna kick your ass. And I was like, go by Zio, dude. I'm not gonna call you Namdi at work.
Oh,
Like,
but no.
Namdi.
Here's the messed up part. Even though I go by Zio, there are a bunch of people there who still call me Namdi, and every time I hear it, I'm like, "What did you just call me?" Like it's weird. I don't know why they call me that, but I'm like, okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Like most of our managers call you Namdi.
Or Nim Nim was Miss Sickingers.
Yeah, I had a teacher in
One of the
high
greatest
school,
teachers, probably the top
she's
teacher I've
amazing.
ever
I freaking
had.
love
She's
her.
great.
She was my creative writing teacher, Miss Sickinger. She called me Nim 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 one day, and Shelby was actually the one who spread it around. She's to this day still calls me Nim Nim Nim. I'm pretty sure Chris Summercraft still calls me that sometimes. Basically, the name just stuck.
Yeah.
Even though it was as simple as Nim Nim Nim. I have 2 N's that are pronounced together and 1 M in my name. I'ma just accept it.
Yeah. How long have we been rolling here?
An hour and 22 minutes.
Do you think it's a good time to start wrapping up?
Well, you know what, man? It's funny. Isaac Pavlovich asks me this a lot during stream, and I'm gonna tell him the same thing that I tell. I'm gonna
Tell
tell
me
you
the
the
same
same
thing.
thing that I tell him. Just keep going, bro.
Is that really what you say?
Just keep going until we're done.
I'm down
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
I'm down for that. I appreciate this podcast. This is fun
Yeah.
and nice, and I like talking about it. And also, I actually wanted to come around to it because we talked about how you got into music, how I got into music. We didn't get into how you got into music,
Kind of.
but yeah, like we
Hey,
mentioned it. But I wanted to
Donnie,
find out
how do you get into music?
Yeah, I wanted to find out how
Well-
you got into how you got into video editing and whatnot, because that's something that he's
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
This is our dude for that. Like,
How
how
do
you
you
get
go on
into
here?
it?
I got in music. I was taking a shower one time.
Wait. Shower thoughts.
Oh,
Oh my god, dude.
That's gonna be the opening line to our diss track to Steve, bro. Shower thoughts. Boom, boom, boom.
No, but how did this go?
video editing. Actually, one of my good friends. Actually, 2 of my good friends, Josh Kellogg and Peter Groves.
I thought it was just gonna be one fat guy. 2 of my good friends. My friend John, he
Donnie looks straight
So-
up annoyed by that.
I really guess big people can only have big friends. So Steve,
you're
sorry,
not that big.
we're not friends. Yeah, because I lost 50 pounds.
Even before that, you were big and
That's
sexy.
that's not what you used to say. I used to walk downstairs and go, Jilly, every time I walk downstairs, Kyle, open my door. Kyle goes, like,
No, it never happened.
I'm like, Kyle, what are you doing?
And I was behind him with the trumpet.
No, what really happened is I would go up. I go moo. Oh, hey Donnie, what's up, bro?
And then Zio's down here just freaking holding on the cabinet, just shaking like there's an earthquake going. I'm like, Zio, I'm just walking down the stairs, asshole.
Yeah, Zio has epilepsy, but Donnie never caught on.
That's actually funny. Will Smith actually did that joke in Fresh Prince one day. It's when Uncle Phil, rest in peace, was coming down the stairs, and you
Great
just
actor.
see Will out of nowhere go, earthquake.
No, but Peter Groves
That's
and Josh
funny as
Kellogg,
shit.
which Peter is actually a huge. Now he's
Shout out to Steve.
edits or not edits. He actually
No.
builds PCs for like huge colleges
What are
and
those?
stuff like that.
PT.
Peter
Oh,
Groves.
like
And
a-
he's like an IT guy, but he builds PCs and stuff. And
oh, PCs. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
And Josh, he was a
Yes, not Reese's Pieces.
he was a video editor for Western Michigan University's football team for like 5 years, and he went to the University of Texas and did the same stuff, video editing. And but me and him, us three were with a group of friends, like a really close group of friends, and they just got me into video editing. And ever since then, I always ask them questions about it, and it's just always got my attention because I mean, to me, like video editing, you can either go one, two ways. Just like streaming, like I like to stream, even though I'm a very small streamer. But it's like a people, especially in nowadays in 2021 now. But you know, there's a lot of negative. I think me and Sweats actually had this talk on my stream 2 nights ago. There's a lot of negative in this world and stuff like that, and just being able to be like a positive or show something positive to someone else is just a crazy thing to, you know, change someone's day. Like me and you were talking earlier about a situation that I'm not gonna talk
Yeah,
about
yeah.
here, but just being able to be there for someone is just like
It's a beautiful thing, man.
yeah, especially something that most people don't know is I used to get bullied every day growing up, so you know, growing up getting bullied and coming home with a bloody nose and bloody because I used to be Oompa Loompa, you know, little kid running around getting my butt kicked, and which made me the man I am today. So shout out to the
Well, now
kid
you've
that
trumped
did it.
them all.
Yeah.
And
And if we ever see those guys,
I'll give him a hug.
that's what's up.
See
Yeah.
the
freaking
yeah,
suck.
God,
See,
this guy.
I was gonna make a joke and say
I
we're
don't
gonna
like-
kick their asses, but
Yeah.
no, man.
I don't
You
I don't like having bad blood either, though, man. It's
No,
just the
it's-
best,
Same,
best way to
dude.
live.
To me, it's like you can go one or two ways. Just like you know, with you guys in music, you know, some people reflect their music on their past. You know, I like to live life or reflect conversations, like especially like, you know, when you said this podcast would be about life. To me that brought my attention because, especially Zio knows this because me and Zio have a lot of life talks in our car rides, especially Colorado, and 16 hours with Zio in a car. Worst mistake of my life. But, no, it's actually like you know, just to get to know someone on a personal level is just a blessing, and you know, just having that negative to come in my life was actually turned out to be a positive in the overall long run. So
Yeah,
to me,
man.
video editing is just like another way, like you guys do music, is just to bring joy to someone else's day.
Well, I see.
Yeah, man.
The thing that I can empathize with off that is I always used to tell people whenever I'd be like, you know, I'm vying for music to become an end goal. It's an end vision for me. So, and it's like other people, they always go, oh yeah, you just want the fame or the money or something like that. It's like, really, by the songs that I make, the songs that I love to make the most, you can tell that that's not how I am. Like I like, what I like doing is putting stuff out there that people can listen to and go, shit, I'm not alone on this. There are certain dark thoughts that people have in their own head they don't realize other people are battling through. But the more you talk to people, the more you can realize that other people go through dark shit as well.
Rapping about actual life, you want to have the liberty to
Yeah.
rap about yourself and not just what's
But also
popular.
turning it inward as well. Like, because like other people, whenever they rap, sometimes it's like a not necessarily when they rap. Anyone in general, a lot of people when they talk, it's like a victim mentality sort of deal, where it's like everyone goes, "Oh man, I had to deal with this and that." Like, but when like some people when they bring it up, like Dony going, "Oh, I got bullied." He wasn't going like, yeah, man, I was bullied. Like, so my life was rougher than your guys." There are a lot of people that do that, and it's like, no, that's not what you're supposed to do. Whenever you're talking about shit like this, you're supposed to go, "No, here's how I grew.
Yeah.
This is not me getting bullied. This happening to me. None of it was negative because I made it not be a fucking negative. Because if I want to live, I got to make it not be a fucking negative, or else I will die.
Being
We're not
broke's
going
a
to make
poor
it in this
excuse.
world."
See, it's like I have this talk with a couple friends. Not a name who, but it's just like, you know, I mean, they know who it is. But it's just like, you know, just everyday life. I mean, there's going to be shit that you don't want to do. I mean,
Hell yeah, man.
but at the same time,
Plenty.
I mean,
Oh,
shit,
yeah.
who wants to go to work every day? If you do,
Just kidding.
then you must be a YouTuber,
As
Twitch
if-
streamer,
yeah, I was gonna say
musician.
if my work is literally just chilling and getting my balls sucked, sure. Is that
I never
my
got
job?
that. Balls sucked is a weird
Yeah,
phrase.
actually,
Who actually, if she's sucking your balls, man, it feels it's gonna blow up. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I
You
got
guys
bitches.
I use a vacuum cleaner.
I got bitches.
But
That song's great.
By the way, the conversation, I don't know if anybody noticed, the conversation just went full circle. We just mentioned life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah.
True. And the crazy part is we watched a YouTube video about that earlier today. That was one of the questions.
Literally. Nice. Sick.
That's crazy.
Really?
Because me and Zio were actually, because we're going through my YouTube ideas, and we're watching, and I was showing them examples of, you know, a skit. It was that game show thing I was telling you about, and I think it was like the U.S. citizen test, and I forgot the question.
The question was name two
With the Constitution,
rights
right?
from the Declaration of Independence.
And we both thought it said the Bill of Rights.
Yeah, we were both thinking the Bill of Rights, so we were just me like freedom of speech, right to bear arms, like.
Yeah. And then
But
it's
it was the
life,
Declaration of
liberty.
Independence, so it was life, liberty, pursuit of happiness.
Nice.
Yeah. No, actually, a lot of conversations that like me and
All the time.
yeah, me and Mark were having conversations when you guys was passed out, and a lot of me and Mark's conversations actually got brought up in the podcast without being intended to, and I mean just a lot of conversations we had earlier today.
See,
You know, it's kind of
crazy.
crazy. I mean, just think about it. I mean, I'm going on about life now, but
I mean, it's
just thinking about it is just like, yeah,
man.
it's true. But it's crazy to think like how many conversations you have, or like events that happen a day, and like how much it actually full sends like throughout that day.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like life has limited storylines it can go through because there's many times where whenever something like I've never heard of, for example, gets brought up, and I'm like, I've never once heard of, you know, this artist, then all of a sudden that fucking artist is everywhere. And it's actually I think it's actually a psychological phenomenon.
We speak
where
things
they
into
say,
existence.
Well,
not
that-
even that, but like there's a
That
straight
and
up
your
one where
cell
it's like,
phone is
you know,
listening to you.
yeah,
so-
but yeah, true. But that, and also like I'm talking about like physically, like in the real world, you'll see it or you'll hear it more often, and it's just because of
Yeah.
the fact that our brains discriminate. So we have so much information all the time that we're just like, nope, none of that, none of that, none of that. I'll pay attention to this, and then every once in a while something will hit your ear, and it's like if I've never heard of, for example, I don't know, the Backstreet Boys. Why the fuck did they come in my head? I don't know. But if
Hey,
I've never heard of them,
Shout out to Steven Villarreal. He's up in the chat here.
what's up, Steve?
What's up, Steve?
Steve and Sweats, the duo.
Man,
Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
so it's like you know, like when something hits your ear, you usually go, oh, I've never heard of that. I don't really care about it. It goes right out. But then if it hits your ear and you're like, I just heard someone talk about that, you're like, "Oh, what the fuck, Backstreet Boys?
Well, that's
I've never heard of them, and now all of a sudden I'm hearing of them again because of what just went through.
it's
your
very
ears the
similar
first
to the
time.
fact that, like, I always point out the company that Donnie and I both work for, I had never heard of it before Donnie
Exactly.
started working there.
Same.
And yet now,
And you see
I
it
see
everywhere.
them everywhere.
Same.
And, like, literally there are times where we're driving
I was
out
following
of
one to
town,
work the other day.
and on the other side of the highway, we're seeing one of our trucks drive past, and we're just like, what?
The crazy part is too is like speaking of like, you know, not hearing like artists or something like that. I never heard of like NF before 3 years ago.
For today. No.
It's actually Zio just brought it up, even though I introduced him. No, but and you know when it's another. I don't know why I'm about sad stories right now, but well, how I got into NF. I don't know if I ever told you this story, Mark. Is when I first got diagnosed with my colon disease. I had some people that doubted, because my colon disease is weird, right? There's some days like right now I feel fine. There's some days like Friday and Wednesday I feel like complete dog, or most days I feel like complete dog crap. And well, I had one of my bad days for a while back when I was living at home with my parents, and some people doubted it. I got fired from my job and stuff like that, and I was in a depressive state, and I was watching YouTube, and I woke up to an artist named NF playing "Let You Down," and it just hit me hard, and right in my heart. And after that, I just grew loved it NF. So every time like I get in a depressive or sad phase, and I turn them on, and life's all good after that.
That's
Now
dope,
Donnie
dude.
was able to put me on him because, again, like I said, I've heard enough quite a few times, especially songs like "Let You Down." It's been popular for a long time.
Yeah.
Like I feel like so many people have heard of enough, but chilling with Donnie, like when I tell you, all these out of town trips that we've done and whatnot. As soon as I started listening to NF, now there are some songs that I will out of nowhere randomly start burst out rapping NF lyrics just because dude is sick. And then like finding out his backstory and like the kind of music he makes and why he makes it, I'm like, dude, I got high respect for him. He's sick. He's a sick artist. And granted, the way Donnie got into NF is the same way that I got into XXXTentacion.
12 Pilots for me.
Yeah, see, damn. Like I feel like, do you have an artist? Now that we're naming them, do you have any artists that like you were going through something that you got into specifically because you heard it and like it just helped you through that time?
There's many different ones.
Nice,
The one that I can
Who
think of
resonates
right
the
now
most?
is Pink
Yeah.
Floyd.
I had a feeling, yeah.
Nice. I'm telling you, Mark is high on life, and it's that's the most cliche yet serious thing I could ever like. I've never met anybody as high on life as Mark.
And
This dude is.
I have been like not to sound like a fucking druggie, but like I've been reborn listening to Hendrix, like in a sense that like his guitar playing. You know, there's music that you're supposed to vibe to and feel the groove, and then there's some music that it's just like you don't understand it until one day you do. And it's just like there's a lot of Hendrix music that's like that.
Yeah.
Because there might be a slight groove, but it's mainly just a very like spiritual.
Yeah.
It's a spiritual like rise or whatever you want to call it.
So the dichotomy that I call it is I feel like there's two main components of music. That's rhythm and rhyme. And I feel like you resonate more with rhythm and I resonate more with the rhyme. You know what I mean?
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, like there's certain don't get me wrong, there are beautiful instruments out there, like beautiful instrumentals that I'll be like, oh
In
my
fact,
god.
I 100% agree with you.
Yeah, and then like there are other times where like there's probably a few songs that you respect on a poetic level.
Oh,
but,
definitely.
like most songs that you respect strictly because of the instrumentation of it, right?
Can I just point out
Most
that
definitely.
you comparing him to rhythm and him being a blues guy just makes me say you just said that this guy would be a great R&B artist, basically.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I think I think there are a lot of people. I mean, because don't get me wrong, of course, as musicians, we both are going to resonate with both ends. I just lean more toward the rhyme because that's how I started. Now lately, actually, I've changed it because it used to be where my whole evolution, I was like leaning heavily toward the rhyme, meaning I was one of those rappers that would say, dude, it's about the lyrics. It's all about the lyrics. It's all that matters is the lyrics.
They don't really listen to the words.
Yeah, they don't really listen to the words. I was bitter, dude. I made albums, like a whole album about how people don't listen to the fucking words, and it was pissing me off because I have all these, like, I was always a pretty decent lyricist. And then, like, now I started realizing, I'm like, dude, I'm sick of, like, I get it. I get why people don't want to listen to me if it's just this and that all the fucking time. So then I started, bringing more rhythm into it and saying, I get it. I now understand it's got to be at least 50-50 rhythm and rhyme. You got to have both components for people to appreciate it the most, like to the maximum. So I've leaned more toward, and I think about 50-50 now, but I still respect the rhyme a little bit more than the rhythm. I do love rhythm.
Black Sabbath, they used a lot of shock in their lyrics.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And eating a fucking bat's head.
Well, that was Ozzy. That wasn't really Sabbath.
And let's just point out, he didn't start COVID, so.
Right.
Yeah, there's the Asian version of Ozzy is why we're all in this.
But
Speaking of that, did you guys take your COVID test before you guys came here?
Yeah. Oh yeah. We all have our paperwork. We all have our paperwork.
Don't worry, I got the vaccine.
Oh, you mean the Coke? What were you saying, Mark?
I was just reading some of the comments. Lee says, Mark, you actually badass. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. You're a badass, too. But no, you were talking about lyrics. Black Sabbath does a song called After Forever. And he says, and on one of the lines of the song, he says, Would you like to see the Pope on the end of a rope? Do you think he's a fool? And that line right there, right? Like the parents of that time, right? They hear that, they're devil worshippers, and but then, like, as a person that's actually listening to it, you hear what he says there, and then you hear what he says after that. He says, "Well, I've seen the truth, and I've seen the lies, and I've changed my ways. I hope that in the end you aren't lonely and scared at the end of your days." and then he starts talking about, actually how he actually believes that there is a God, and all this other stuff. In that one song though, like they used, like, or in that song, people hear that one specific lyric and they think, oh man, like, this is such a bad song, but in reality they're just using that to make you realize or make you listen even more. And it's,
that's one of the things that actually made me bitter as a lyricist, is straight up the fact that like people will nitpick. It's like, and part of setup is that's not even shock. In my opinion, that line's not shock.
At the time it was,
yes.
Yeah.
But like even now, like certain things you have to kind of set up with extremes just to go, well, here's the end point I'm trying to make. And you said the end point he's trying to make is, hey, I still believe in God, past thinking that people are fools, and past thinking there's craziness in the world. And it's like, yes, you're gonna set up with some extremes and go like, hey, are you sick of all the lies? Because that's the audience he's trying to resonate with, are the people that are fed up. Because obviously the rebels are the ones listening to this. So he's like, hey, do you want to see the Pope hang? You think he's a fucking idiot, right?
Yeah.
Well, hold up. There's idiocy everywhere, but that's not a reason to give up. And everyone hears, hey, you want to see the Pope hang? And you're like, it's like, did you not hear the rest of my fucking point? There's a whole point there to be made.
Yeah.
And that kind of upsets me about how a lot of people listen. But it's music. It's entertainment.
To be honest with you, this is how everyone listens in life too.
Oh yeah.
They just nitpick on.
I cannot stand people.
Well,
that's one of my biggest fucking pet peeves when people do that.
Is that our media are the ones that do that to us.
Yeah.
They give us like that little portion of something, and then it's up to you to either go like that's the total truth, or wait, there might be something
There might
more.
be, yeah. And
that's why I say this ruins America. It's the 5-letter word. I mean, you always talk about it all the time.
media, yeah.
media, yeah.
Well, so so in conversation, in conversation in general, I think there's nothing in conversation.
Vault media is real, and it's it's supposed to spark interest in your everyday life.
Oh yeah. Well, I was gonna say that there's in conversation, I don't think there's anything that could ruin it faster than someone purposely misinterpreting what you say. And that actually, like, even no matter where I am, if you want to piss me off, if we're talking about something serious, just start nitpicking something I'm saying. Especially if it's like a slight debate, because I love debating.
Well, that's unless
I don't mind. Yeah, and I don't mind like interruptions and debate and like going back and forth with ideas. But when people linger on one sentence, if you can understand what I mean, understand what I mean. If you can't, it's fair, because maybe I'm explaining it poorly. But what if like I'll be playing even a stupid example. One that doesn't have to go with debating is like I'll be on Xbox playing with my other cousin from the other side, Tanner, and
they fight all the time.
He's a fucking asshole sometimes. He knows it. He's great. One of my favorite people to hang out with. But like I was playing with him all day yesterday, and we didn't have any fights. But it used to be to the point where it got bad enough to where I'm like, dude, I understand my pet peeves. I'll understand yours. Let's not press each other's buttons. Let's just have fun. And like we'd be playing like I think Fortnite when it was first coming out, and I was running away from the storm to get to the circle, which is what it's called. But I said, hey bro, we gotta get to this storm because we're about to get killed. And he goes, do you mean the circle? And I'm like, you know what I meant, dude. You want me to run backwards now or something, motherfucker? Yeah, right. So like that's just a funny example of, but like in conversation, there's nothing that could kill it faster than someone just going like, oh, well, why'd you say that when there's this that obviously counteracts that? It's like, if that was not my end all be all point, do not diminish that point unless it had something to do to build up my point logically. Yeah, if you do that, then you're not listening.
That's why I'll stop playing with you guys.
It's because we don't do it anymore. Tanner, like we had a few talks about it. Yeah, no, like, there's still times where he'll get like annoying, and I even told me because yesterday he did get a little annoying again. I was playing a game with him, and then I was like, I don't remember what the fuck he was saying, but I'm like if I'm raging, first of all at a game, like imagine I'm raging at those games, and you guys are like, instead of just going like, oh okay whatever, you guys just go, oh pussy. I'm like, the fuck.
Yeah, I mean, there's sometimes.
I didn't rage at you. Why are you attacking me?
Sometimes Kyle rage is like stupid. I mean, we all do. We're raging.
I told you guys the only thing I have anger issues on are video games and technology.
Yeah. Those are the only times that Kyle actually becomes a Kyle.
Yeah.
Nah, I never punched a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
I used to punch myself in the jaw though as a kid, which was a little odd.
That's just because of the golf club.
No, like yeah, probably have a little bit of brain damage.
I can say this. I believe the hardest gamers will rage at the game, but let me say this. I won't say which brother, but one of my brothers used to spit on the TV when he would lose and like get pissed. Like, he would get pissed and he was just dead on.
Next time is my dick.
Like man, that is a memory.
Yeah, my brother used to throw the controllers, and I'd get so mad at him.
Because they'd break.
'Cause, yeah, and
I've broken a
PlayStation
two.
controllers, man.
Yeah, they were fragile, bro.
See, that's the thing.
I took one apart.
I'm a
after
huge
that.
gamer, but my rages are very like mellow.
Most of mine are now. I yell.
My
a lot.
rages.
I don't yell.
No, like
I love yelling.
like you saw me rage the other day. I mean, I just turn off the game. Like, yeah, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'll play a different game.
I don't yell, but I get pissed. Like I will literally sit there and be like, "What? This makes no sense. I'm literally attacking him. I'm hitting him. Like,
Well,
like,
you.
stuff like
Hey,
that.
they saw part of the rage earlier where I'm like, I'm literally hitting left. Why is he not fucking turning around?
If I'm playing with a group of friends, I rage less actually, and instead I'll just start to criticize the game a bunch. I'm like, dude, these controllers kind of fucking suck ass.
That's
don't
what I was
they?
doing.
Like,
I was criticizing the game the whole fucking time.
It depends on the game.
I'm like,
Like,
the camera isn't turning fast enough. I suck at this.
Call of Duty at rage. Apex at rage.
Yeah,
Just suck
I
at
could
it.
never play Call of Duty. Like, I enjoy it.
I was a
enjoy
beast
the
with the Tomahawk.
campaign, like campaign mode. I've always loved like the storylines, but online play, man, I could never keep up.
I
Once you
genuinely
leave
think
the
there's
realm
not
of
many
Nintendo,
people.
I'm out of the conversation basically.
I've only met
That's how it works for me.
one person maybe that might have been better than me with the tomahawk. I was a god with that.
I noticed. That's why I brought it back around.
I was always a Crash Bandicoot guy.
Yes, that was one of my favorite games of all time,
That
bro.
You gotta like Crash though. Crash.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
I even fell in love with Spyro for a while because my nephew had Spyro.
Spyro's
Crash
good.
is a top 5 game of mine of all time.
Yeah.
Like, I actually loved it. I referenced it 3 times we were playing that game.
Yeah.
Because any game I play with those types of graphics, I want to see my Ooga Booga come out, as I call him. I know, I think he's just called like Tiki Head or something. Basic.
He
It's
actually does have a
Aku,
name.
Aku Aku or something like that.
Aku Aku.
Yeah.
I always called him Ooga Booga just because every time you pick him, you go Ooga Booga.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I love the drum pattern they
Yeah,
have when you come in.
yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
that was like that game was well mixed.
Speaking
See,
of
that was
Spyro
basically
and-
like Donkey Kong. That's why I prefer Donkey Kong. But
speaking
Ah.
of Spyro and then Crash,
Crash is better.
the last Crash game though, it's about time. The first mission, like of course, you start off at in the beach world,
Yeah.
and he's chilling like on the island, and in the ocean there's a Spyro the Dragon floaty, and you can hit it and it like
Nice.
it drifts off.
I never actually seen Spyro in the Crash game.
egg.
Yeah.
So the better thing about Crash than Donkey Kong is Crash never had this like weird spiral downward where he started throwing barrels at another fucking popular character.
Well, that's a funny thing because that's how Donkey Kong started.
Exactly, yeah.
And also Mario. wasn't a
But that's the
popular
thing.
character.
If you take his storyline, he was probably this great guy at first, and then all of a sudden he just got fucking pissed.
No, see, here's the funny thing. I
think
that
Peach was
technically
playing
wasn't
him.
Mario. That was Jumpman. The game was called Donkey Kong. That was Donkey Kong's first game. And if you look into the history of Nintendo's like games, there was actually a game before that in which the same guy that looked like Mario / Jumpman was actually like a circus ringleader dude, and Donkey Kong was like the circus performer, like being whipped and whatnot. So the fact that Donkey Kong came after that, and when she's throwing barrels at him, it's like this makes complete sense, dude. He was so what?
I thought you said she for a second. I'm like, what?
No, I said Donkey Kong was this like I don't even remember.
You said she started throwing barrels. I'm like, what?
No. I said he started throwing. He starts throwing barrels at him. If I did say she, then I was just stumbling over my words.
Nah, it
but
happens. That's why I was just curious. I'm like, I did not know this whole time.
but it makes complete sense now that like Donkey Kong was throwing barrels at the freaking guy who was whipping him while standing on top of barrels in a circus. Like it makes complete sense now.
Yeah.
But then after that is when Mario came out, and that's when Mario actually got the name Mario. Before that, he was just Jumpman.
So Mario's a racist Italian that was whipping.
Made by Japanese.
Made
people,
by a
yeah.
Japanese guy. I was just gonna say.
It all makes sense now.
Yeah, it's Japanese interpretation of America.
So yeah.
What's your guys' all-time favorite game?
Legend of Zelda. Damn. Twilight Princess, to be specific, is my favorite one to play. But Ocarina of Time is nostalgic. Majora's Mask is I need to read through a walkthrough to actually play that correctly. Breath of the Wild I have not gotten to play yet. Shame.
Game,
Shame.
No, it's just, right.
I
Yeah.
don't care. I'm going in. Legend of Zelda. I can go on for days about this. No, but okay, yeah. Mine is Legend of Zelda.
Mine's between two. Mine's between Call of Duty Black Ops. Probably 2 would be the best one, just because the Tomahawk, like I said, it was amazing. I was a guy with it. I guarantee you, I was the top like 100 of all time.
Just like last
100,
night, he
top
went on like
100.
this long period of
Then,
showing me just all his videos of him
dude.
tomahawking people from a
Yeah,
distance.
dude, I was
there were
so
some sick
good.
kills too.
Yeah, well, those were not even the best ones either. But and then tied with that would be like Blitz 2003 is what I always called it. My whole life, Blitz 2003, I would like go back to Blockbuster and fucking re-rent it. And I think I just eventually they closed and I got fucking Blitz 20. I still have it. It's downstairs. I can go get it. Again, I don't think I have a system to play it, but that game was fucking fun.
No, I don't think you have Xbox.
Yo, speaking of like
Regular Xbox.
games from the 2000s, just a
It's on
random
PlayStation
super
2 for
fast
me.
side cut. It took me so many years before I found out that Mike Shinoda of Linkin Park was the one who put together Fort Minor and that Remember the Name track. Like that song got popular as hell because NBA.
Where'd You Go
2K,
is their best track though.
Yes, it is. I agree. Where'd You Go and
Jay-Z
Red
produced
to
that.
Black.
You know Jay-Z produced that one?
Mm-hmm. That's why his I think he worked on a lot of that album with them.
Yeah,
That's why
at
you
the
can hear
outro
him
he goes, hey, when you sent me that initial first batch of beats, I was like, that's the shit right there. And then Jay-Z's in the background like, holla. I can't do his laugh. But you get it.
I'd have to say Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Dude, that was the shit. That was the best fucking GTA. Besides maybe 5. I like 5 because of Trevor's.
It had it had a sense of rebellion for me.
Yep.
Because my dad definitely did not want us playing Grand Theft Auto, but we would play it anyways. And yeah, and the storyline is just awesome.
Oh yeah.
GTA is another
CJ's
game that I
the
appreciate
shit.
but never got to actually own, so I don't really.
Thing
I'm
I
not part of
always
that full-
every time we have this conversation, the thing I always like to bring up about San Andreas, one of my favorite things is if you get a prostitute, which I played that as a kid, of course I got prostitutes.
Yeah.
If you bring them somewhere private and he starts fucking them, he'll moan his own name every time. He goes, CJ.
Yeah, he will.
That is the most narcissistic thing I've ever fucking heard in my life.
So Don Diddy, what is your favorite?
Mine's 22 too. Probably. I don't know. The closest one's for Pokemon.
Nice, sick.
Pokemon's
Really?
probably
Pokemon is an
one.
amazing one.
They actually had some good video games.
And then
They have a lot of
it's between
great
Pokemon and Call of Duty 4.
Let's ask the viewers, what's your favorite game of all time?
Call of Duty 4.
Yes, let us know. I
You
want
know?
to hear
Original
this.
Modern Warfare.
What are the last few chats?
That's why I got big into like Major League Gaming.
Well, Steven
stuff like
is
that.
asking
Me and
where
my
our
brothers,
masks
we can't
are.
play close 'cause, we
Mask on. Fuck it. Mask
played
off.
MLG, Major League Gaming together, and we
Nice.
Well,
I did
let's see,
MLG
what else,
once
what
with
else?
Zach.
Oh,
Black Ops,
okay. Lee says Nintendo.
Let's see this real quick.
MCU.
I know, just come
Is that what that is?
Mentioned that to me at one point too.
What is Nintendo MCU? I'm actually not even familiar with this one right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Please explain, Lee.
Yeah, I would like to hear that.
A lot of conversation with the chat. How many folks we got in here?
We got 5 viewers right now.
Not bad.
Yeah, man. Lee says Pokemon Silver
Pokemon Silver, yeah.
and
See,
COD
I remember
4
those.
he likes.
Dude,
COD
those-
4 was
okay,
a great one.
I forgot that those are considered, because I even loved those ones on the fucking Game Boy a lot, dude. Like,
Yeah.
those are really fun. I think the gold one is my favorite one.
Silver, I believe, was the one with Lugia, right? And I think Gold had Ho-Oh or something. I kind of forget.
Megan said that she's watching this, and
Shout out to Megan.
she says, you guys are fun to listen to, and you can tell how close and how much you all mean to each other. It's an emotional porno.
Aww. You're not supposed to know that side of this. That happens when the cameras go off,
know,
and then
yeah,
you
honestly,
turn it back on. for
another
something
close
else.
one for Call of Duty 4 for me is World at War.
That's
yeah,
funny.
that
Lee
one's
just
good
said
for
that one too.
That was the only one that was good
Yeah.
for zombies, though. In my opinion,
Dude, our MLG clan, it was me, my brother, and a dude named Adam Hess. Adam Hess is probably the best Call of Duty 4 player, or Call of Duty player I've ever played with. He went to LA.
What
he
is
used to
it
be
when
on
you
Call of
guys
Duty
were
team,
talking about
went to LA
the
and stuff.
Jumpman and old Mario?
Anyway, I'll have a conversation with you.
every
But he went to
time,
I know.
dude, every single time.
Yeah.
And you guys all wonder why I'm so quiet.
Oh, the Donkey Kong shit.
And don't forget to let Donnie talk every once in a while, guys.
Yeah, that's the second time you guys both interrupted. and just
Every
went
time
right
he
to
starts
chat.
talking, you guys are like, let's look at this chat.
Dave,
And
Dave Hustle. You guys know Dave Hustle?
no.
He said, "Where are your masks? We're in the middle of a worldwide pandemic." Man, fuck you, man.
Bro, 3 of us
Hey.
live together, and the 4th one, he's 6 feet away from us. It just looks closer in this
Yeah.
room.
Yeah, the camera always
Objects.
removes 6 feet.
Objects in the camera are further than they appear.
Now, those
No, I mean, to
all
be
3 of
honest
us
with you.
live together, and I work with this guy, so we're all good.
And if you want to be honest with my mask, because I live in fucking America and I can choose what the fuck I do.
Yeah.
If you have a problem with that, then I love you.
America.
No, but
I forgot people are still
4 days
Dude,
till a lot
the
of shit
funny
changes.
thing is,
Deal
the
with it.
funny thing is, okay, so speaking of COVID, I didn't realize how seriously
Yo,
we
what's
live in
up,
Indiana.
Coach Souls? It's Braden and Jacob.
Nice.
Hey, Brandon and Jacob.
we live in
That's funny as hell.
That was sick.
we live in Indiana, which is a very loose state with all the COVID stuff, and I did not realize how seriously people took this COVID shit until I was watching Whitest Kids You Know, which is one of the funniest groups of all fucking time. They started doing live streaming to promote a movie, which if anyone in here wants to check them out, go check them out on Twitch. Whitest Kids You Know. They're fucking funny as shit. They're fantastic, and I really want to see what this movie is that they're trying to do. But they're on this podcast, and they're all remote because they live in New York, and then some of them live further away, and that's why they're remote. But like there's this one episode where they're like passing back this hot sauce, this really hot sauce, and every single time they would leave it in the mailbox, and they would not like contact, nothing like that. And I'm like, it's so interesting to see these people that have still been in quarantine, which we were quarantined for 3 months there. Like I was off work for 2 months. And I was working from home for a month prior to that. So we were all quarantined in the fucking house for like 3 months besides Amanda. And that was fucking that. I went a little stir crazy from that. And I'm a homebody. So if I went stir crazy, bro. And these people are in New York or in their apartments at all times. Like it's weird because we're living in the same pandemic, but other people are going to have this other, like it's already a different experience for us. But imagine how different it would be if we were still quarantined.
Oh yeah.
Like you wouldn't be here.
Michigan's still quarantined.
Yeah, you'd still be in Michigan if we were all actually quarantined, like they are.
By the way,
you'd
I like
still
how
live
just
here.
a moment ago Donnie went, that's awkward.
Amanda and I would be broken up. Amanda and I would be broken up, but she'd still be upstairs, and that'd be weird. No.
No, I think COVID's serious. We talked about it before, but the whole mask thing, dude.
I don't get mad at it. I understand it.
Like if legitimately if like Mark came here and was like, hey, can we wear masks?
Yeah.
I'd be fine with wearing a mask.
I just don't get how people get that Karen attitude about it.
No, yeah, me either. Like,
I'm like,
when people over the internet start saying, "Where's your mask?" is when I'm like,
and a guy,
do you want me to? Am I
a guy that
gonna
we're gonna completely put off Vault Media forever because he's all
This
COVID
is literally
rules.
my microphone.
This is mine, yeah, and that's Donnie's.
no, this is Mark's. No, but the thing is, like, no, the thing is,
That was an
we're at
awkward
our
motion for you
house.
to make. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're chilling inside a house. Nobody else is around us. Like we are all freely choosing to be around each other. Like,
We're all clean. We're not
yeah.
swapping spit. I mean,
Plus, at least 3 of us have likely had COVID. You definitely have. I very most likely have, like 98% chance. You were like 70% chance of having it before.
I think I was honestly more like 20%. Well, no.
With
the conditions should have
you
been
had
70%,
twice.
but I
You had
showed
twice.
no symptoms.
I
at
didn't
all.
possibly
So,
have
like,
it.
there
I
was a
had
chance
it.
that,
You had it. That's what I said. You had it.
Yeah.
I didn't test positive, but I slept in the same bed and
showed symptoms.
You
had
definitely had it.
I had symptoms, and I also had relations with a woman that had COVID.
Yeah.
So I think because I didn't stop like kissing her, like, and it was like up to like the day that she started getting sick, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I actually got the symptoms. I lost I got altered taste, and I had body soreness and fever, and then I started sunbathing, and some of the symptoms like dawdled a little bit, went down. I think dwindled is the right. Yeah, go to the restroom. Might want to go now.
Yeah, probably. All right, I'll go. Just throw you off.
So this guy is still commenting. He said, "Are you terrified of the 99% survival rate?"
oh, yeah, dude, that one.
No, he's trolling now.
Yeah.
Because now he's on our side. He's saying, "Oh, well, you guys aren't scared of how you're likely not gonna die at all. Like everything's fine."
Probably trolling the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, did you know that a lot of people who died of COVID had pre-existing bullet wounds?
I did.
Well, you heard about that guy that
Bruh.
jumped off of a plane and died, right? Turns out he died from COVID.
I knew about that in midair.
Oh,
Yeah.
In
man.
midair, it took his
Was
lungs.
his parachute named COVID and it didn't go? So,
Yeah.
that's the thing is,
2
like,
guns. I got a parachute.
like, I think. I'm not saying
Never.
I don't take this. I don't think.
What?
Oh, I thought you said never when I said I think. I think like
Don't forget about the mic.
sorry. I think that like COVID, I think it'd be like more. I don't say I don't take it seriously, but I think I'd take a more of a reaction to it if like at first like they didn't like sprue the numbers up as much as they did. I've heard a lot of stories where like not saying it's true or not, because I'm not getting into political talk, but because I hate crap. But like I've heard a lot of stories about like people like loved ones that I know don't know the loved one, but I know the person. And I believe what they're telling me is like their loved one died of like a heart disease, and on their death certificate says COVID.
Really?
Yeah. So it's like, it's just like what we just talked about earlier. It's just like a whole media thing. Like, what do you believe and what don't you believe? I mean, it's just like a coin flip.
I
You guys
legit
want
earlier
drinks?
pointed
And we'll
out
go
the
get-
fact that that COVID, it is serious because it assists in killing, but it typically hasn't been the cause of death. It usually takes other like illnesses that a person may have or other symptoms that a person may have and amplifies them. It also gives you like new symptoms like loss of taste and smell, etc. But it typically hasn't killed people alone. It's usually like, oh, heart failure happens, but
Hey,
it was
Kyle,
someone
what you
who
got?
had heart issues.
It's like my grandma.
Like drink wise.
Yeah,
My grandma's in the hospital right now. She has COVID still.
and wasn't it two
two pneumonias.
See,
So I mean, it's like it's serious. I mean, prayers to my grandma, and prayers to everyone that's
Definitely.
gotten COVID,
Prayers.
and prayers
Blessing
to
to the
people
family.
that legitimately lost loved ones to it.
Yeah.
But it's like
Can I get water? Thanks, man.
I'm not gonna, because I don't know. My big thing too is I'm not gonna live in fear.
Right.
If it's my time, it's gonna be my time. I mean,
if it's my time, I'm getting drunk before I go.
But like, it's just like, to me, it's you have just as not no chance good when you talk about death, but you have just as good of a chance of dying walking
Yeah.
down the street and getting hit by a car, or
Yeah.
walking, down a dark alleyway and getting stabbed, or walking anywhere and getting stabbed or whatnot. So it's like,
You know what's a really crazy thing I heard is that the cold, the common cold, and the flu, like everybody was nervous that the numbers were gonna like rise with COVID, but they actually dropped. Like the amount of like people with cold and flu symptoms, like it dropped.
it's
like
the same
there's-
symptoms.
Yeah, like it's not as I guess like there's not as many people like catching it because of the masks. Yeah, right. But it's just like if that was dropping, then how is COVID still rising?
Yeah.
It's also
know?
almost January 20th.
No political talk.
I'm joking.
No. Don't matter. Got impeached anyway. But
Impeach me for 4 days, motherfucker.
thing is too is it's like, something that I was gonna talk about. I mean, I'm still gonna talk about it tomorrow too. Is with all of us being quarantined and all these mask wearing, well, our immune systems are gonna be a lot weaker.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen when First off, what's gonna be the new normal? Are we gonna wear masks for probably the next 3 years? Probably.
It kind of
It's
goes.
at the very least going to be more common to see.
What you said is true. Like, our bodies. I mean, this is just from what I know, just being a human being. Like, as you grew up and you caught colds and you got sick, your immune system got stronger, and then you build the antibodies for that year. You might catch it again the next year, but like your body knows how to react to it now. Like you need to get sick. Like as bad as that sounds,
Yeah, it's true.
like you need to get sick.
That's
so-
actually the point of the whole flu shot thing too, because it's literally something that it
Yeah,
basically puts it in you.
it
and
goes
says,
in-
hey, if you beat
right.
it, you got the bodies, you're good. If you get sick, you're getting the bodies now. You're not going to get sick by
Well,
that
that's
same strain
not
again.
true though, because I gotta get my flu shot every year.
You said you don't get it
I
every year?
have to,
You do?
but I have no immune system.
But each year is for a different strain, isn't it?
Yeah, no, but I have no immune system,
Oh, well, yeah. Oh. Why do you... Is the shot just to like...
so I have it in my system.
Okay.
Yeah, because
I know someone who had the corona shot.
Really?
Yeah.
I do too, actually.
yeah, I know a couple dudes.
I thought you were going to develop that
Nurses,
story. real quick.
nurses, they're forcing people to take it now, essentially.
Oh,
And,
that.
um,
Okay.
And so I know
Suction
someone
got
who-
it too, I believe.
Yeah, see, and
Yeah.
but the thing is, this one's different because most vaccines, and historically we all knew this, is they'll give you a dead version of the virus, so your body would go, oh shit, that's this thing, not to kill it off, not to react to it, and then now they're injecting messenger RNA, which I don't understand enough to comment on, but it's like it seems odd that they could develop that faster than they would develop a dead version of a vaccine, I don't follow that. I mean, this is stuff that obviously science was one of my weakest suits as a kid.
Same.
And but I still don't I don't comprehend how they developed that faster, a new type of vaccine faster than one that was already established. And sounds like the way they explain it all the time to us, like the way they put it in layman's terms makes it so hard to understand, because the way they put it in layman's terms, they say, oh yeah, we just put a dead version of the virus in you and then your body reacts to it. So why the fuck couldn't you guys just do that with this? Why wasn't it as easy as just finding a dead coronavirus and then injecting it?
Or why isn't it as easy as, doing whatever you did to, like, do you find the dead version or do you get a version, kill it, and then inject that? If you get a version and kill it.
So the thing is, when they put it in layman's terms, they're obviously not going to tell us the technicalities of it, but the technicalities of it are why they can't do that.
See, again, my worst subjects in school were always science, math, English,
You're naming every subject.
social studies, art.
PE.
My best is lunch.
I was good at lunch. I was really good at that.
The thing is, too, is that confuses the crap out of me, right? China, where it came from. Billions of people. I've never been there, but I've seen, like, videos of people walking down the streets legitly hand-holding only. And they're out of quarantine already. How does a country like that the virus started with billions of people that
Communism.
legitly are next to each other get out of quarantine?
Communism.
It's
It's easy for them to shut everything down. It's really easy for them to shut everything down. Here, you see how you reacted and how I reacted when this guy said, "Where are you guys' masks?" The fuck do you mean? This is America, goddammit. You tell them in China, you say, "You guys stay inside, we'll bring you your food." They're going to go like, "All right, guys, we got to stay inside." They're going to bring us our food.
It's because we live on Earth 2020.1. Like, this is just the life we...
And I explained to your mom earlier today, too, because I was talking to your mom.
I was talking to your mom last night.
Yeah.
Auntie.
Auntie, what are you doing?
Step aunt.
But, we're talking about, like, because I was telling her about, tell Steve I'm going to stop by once this COVID stuff's over. We're going to watch the Michigan games and stuff like that together. Once I get my car figured out and stuff like that. Then we started talking about, like, the COVID, because she was updating me on grandma and stuff like that. And I explained to her, like, simple terms is, why technically, I don't mind wearing my mask, but I don't like to. Is because I'm getting told I have to wear my mask. It's just a common American thing, I guess.
Not for see. My thing about it is I don't like how my nose is always kind of stuffed, and I think yours is the same way. So putting a mask over it makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, same. I
don't mind wearing it though. My boss told us. Damn, I guess I should. At my old job, my boss told us that we didn't have to wear our masks, and so I still knew that if customers came in and we're not wearing masks, they might be uncomfortable, even though we have this curtain up between us. And I'm like, all right, then I'm still going to wear a mask because I don't want to make people feel uncomfortable, especially if you're in something with sales. Like, you're not going to walk up there and be like, this America, I want to wear my mask. You're going to be like, all right, dude, whatever.
It's like when I worked at my old job back in Michigan. I got told I had to wear my mask. And legitimately, I did lawn care. But I dealt with a lot of public and stuff like that. So, like, if I was on, lawnmower or whatnot, or whatever I was doing, I would have my mask on. But as soon as someone walks up to me, my mask's in my pocket, I pull it out, put it on before I walk up to them and talk to them. And, before they walk up to me, I make sure I stay away from them until I put my mask on. In our job now, we have to wear masks. And, if I'm by someone public, of course I'm going to wear it. But if I'm by myself...
Dude, when all this shit happened, the first time that after I was quarantining for a long time that we went to the store. By the way, quarantining really fucks with you, because I also had my first panic attack because of quarantine. Like, my first time driving on the highway afterwards, I had my first panic attack because I was socially inept at that point,
Panic
but
also started tearing me up.
Oh yeah, no doubt, yeah, and tenfold, right? And so we went to the store after all this shit had started hitting. It was probably maybe right after I started quarantining, so I had to be April or May, and we go over to Meijer, and there's an old lady on this wheelchair. She's riding around with the fucking motorized ones, and Zio and I are walking over toward the milk and looking at the extra bread that they have, and then this old lady, open mouth, fucking coughs, I swear to God, dude, I wanted to punch her in the fucking face because I find that shit rude. Even before COVID, like there was this time I worked at a gas station, and this customer comes up and he's ordering something. He just doesn't even cover his mouth, and I felt literally saliva hit my face. I'm like, ugh. Then like 2 days later, I got mono.
Wow.
From that motherfucker coughing in my face.
What a dick, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Couldn't have been from all the prostitutes.
Or the prostate. Never mind.
Well, that's how the prostitutes were. That's how I
The
charmed
prostate exam.
my prostate.
We can call it an exam.
Yeah, something's probing.
Yeah.
You dirty devil.
No, I've.
Some illegal alien.
I don't think. First of all, why would you want to pay for sex? Second of all, why would you pay for sex with someone in Indiana?
Loneliness.
Because you want to be Indiana.
My aunt's named Deanna, and I don't think I want to be in.
I mean, Donnie's cool with it. Why can't you be?
Claudia's watching. No.
Well, that's how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
I missed that movie.
That was a great movie. Yeah. Jim Carrey was great before he so he's always been kind of political, but it was more subtle in his older stuff because he had like a stand-up joke where he was talking about like, guns and shit. I'm like, anything that gets political, I don't even give a shit what side I'm on it. I don't like political comedy. And then he as he got older, he was sick of being like a goofball, like the physical comedian that he's never really his true self. He's just this funny out there guy, kind of how Chris Farley was, how he was depressed of being like the clown. And then Jim Carrey wound up changing himself quite a bit, and now he's always fucking political. And it's like, bro, but he used to be fucking great.
I heard
One
he
of
was
the
good in the
funniest.
Sonic movie.
Really?
I heard he had a comeback. So
Good. I'm good. I always want to see that. Like Adam Sandler also went through a whole dead period. Then he fucking released Hubie Halloween, which is fucking great.
I'm sorry, Adam Sandler.
One of the funniest movies I've
We
ever
love
seen.
You, but that Uncut Gems or whatever.
Jack
it
and
was,
Jill was much worse. You do
Man.
not want to see Jack and Jill.
Really, it was worse.
I
It
heard
was
Uncut
fucking
Gems was
bad.
good though. I've never
Uncut
seen it.
Gems
Some
I
people,
liked.
some people
I
really
liked
liked it. Uncut Gems to me was
It wasn't
just a
funny.
big anxiety movie. That's
Exactly,
all it was.
exactly.
Like there was no point to the movie.
It
There was
wasn't
no
funny.
lesson. It was.
It
Just
wasn't supposed to be funny.
The events of someone's life. That's it.
It's like how everyone didn't like his movie Punch Drunk Love, which I actually liked, and people also didn't like. Speaking of movies, so there are two movies by both of them, Adam Sandler and Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey had one called Cable Guy that people hated when it came out.
I love Cable
I
Guy.
love it. It's a great movie. And then Punch Drunk Love, great movie. The thing is though, it's the way that Punch Drunk Love was set up was kind of like Uncut Gems, where it's a high anxiety movie. There's no background music. And then there's only like one or two funny scenes, but the one scene fucking made me laugh my ass off because they set it up by saying like, spoiler alert, they set up by saying he's like, oh yeah, you remember how he's the one brother and he has like 6 sisters, and then like he's just like this awkward guy who's like very uncomfortable all the time, and like it's a whole love story of this girl trying to get past his awkwardness essentially, and it's not supposed to be funny at all. And then there's like a couple scenes where it's Adam Sandler, it's gonna get goofy, And they were talking about like, oh, you remember how he was always freaking out, and that one time he broke the glass back door. Yeah, and they're all laughing at him because they're all like, they're all have this camaraderie, and he's just awkward, and they're like, yeah, fucking like bullying him. And then like there's this one scene where after I don't remember how they dropped that dime, and then they're all over there like setting up Thanksgiving, and you're watching from the back of the house. And then he just goes up and just fucking punches the fucking back door out, and like, what? And the way they set up was hilarious. But that was a great movie. I really did like it a lot.
Yeah,
But-
see, for me, Uncut Gems, maybe like I honestly want to give him the benefit of the doubt, especially since so many people claim to love it.
I thought it was a
wanna
good
give him
movie.
the benefit of the doubt and say that like maybe the point of the movie just went over my head. But for me, I'm like, I can't think of a single scene in that movie that made me feel like this is a good movie. All I saw was, okay, he's a gambler. He's still gambling. All right.
It was not
shitty relationship. This scene is going on. They literally have a scene.
It was not a good
where
arc.
He catches his girlfriend in the
Arc.
bathroom with The Weeknd, breaks up with her, leaves, and then they show a minute of her just walking down the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Just-
It was a bad
nothing
arc.
happens in that scene. She's just walking a whole minute, just walking down the sidewalk. She passes some girls. They're talking. Keeps on walking. And then it cuts to a scene of him taking out the trash or some shit
Yeah,
like that.
it was
then another scene again. Like, what
horrible.
the fuck is this movie?
The only thing that I could agree with is I think it was a poor arc, and I think the directing was bad. And I thought that the whole, like, watching it too, where it's like some of this, just some of the things behind it were.
I thought something
Not well
was going
set
to
up.
happen in the movie. That, like, and then the biggest pet peeve for me in the movie, aside from what I just named, is like, again, the only reason why I talk about this so adamantly is because I felt like it had potential to be a great film. But again, what was the ending? He died. A bunch of characters' futures were not spoken about or seen or anything. It's like, is there a part 2 on Gems 2? That movie might be really good. Then maybe the follow-up story will be more interesting because now we know the background. But this one was just like, it ended with...
They
sorry,
killed
spoiler
anyone to
alert.
make it interesting.
Exactly. It was like, that's literally all it was. It was like,
Did
this
he have a
character
son?
died.
I can't remember.
He had multiple kids. He
Okay,
had multiple
so maybe
kids.
they'd be good.
The girlfriend he had a girlfriend though, and she's the one who had the money. So his ex-wife and kids, I don't know if they got any of the money at all whatsoever. His ex-wife was a bitch to him. What about the company he was running? Everybody that was working for him who apparently quit, like Kevin Garnett. Whatever happened to his career? Did he just say, "Oh, fuck that guy, leave"? Like, who got the stone last? Like, what was the end of the movie? There was nothing. There was no, final thoughts on the film. It was just story happening.
Having
and
problems?
then it ended.
Yeah, I'm limp.
Yeah, we've all been there. Recently.
I can't keep it up anymore.
That's funny. I'm a virgin. I'm a
Currently.
virgin, you guys.
Shit, man. Better than where I'm at.
No, it's not. That was such an evil laugh. What was it?
All right. Well, fuck, man. What else you got?
Well, dude, we've been going for like 2 hours and 15 minutes.
All right. Anybody who's still watching, shout out to you. 'Cause
Yes,
you're
for
the
real.
real MVP.
That's
You
50
guys-
minutes past when
you
I
guys
originally
were
thought we should
amazing.
end.
Yeah.
Right, so-
Donnie says, "Do you know the Muffin Man?"
Oh, the Muffin Man.
Hey, all right. So shout out to Donnie for commenting. Shout out to Steven, Lee. Shout out to you, Dave Hustle.
Shout out to
who
Lo,
is-
Mecca, and Nina. All three.
Yes, who is this dude?
Megan,
BSY.
Luke.
But I don't know how to say your name, but shout out to you.
Donnie's football kids.
Oh, that was Donnie's football people.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Shout out to Sweats. I don't know if I said that, but shout out to him. Shout out to your brother, Mecca. And Angelo. Shout out to Angelo.
Shout out to Lo. By the way, Lo,
Thank
we're
you
still
all
going to
for
get you out here
commenting.
so we can all work on some music at some point. Lo plays
Yes.
guitar and sings.
How do you guys know work?
We work with him.
I don't know why I said yes. I don't know him.
How far does he work? Does he work at this one?
Only sometimes though. Lo is 18. He is still in school and whatnot, so he doesn't work like all the normal hours. But his family is actually, they run our company. So
What city do they live in? Does he live in?
Michigan City, I think, but I'm
Oh,
not completely
then-
sure. Or
yeah.
it could be LaPorte. I'm honestly not
That's
sure.
easy to
where he
organize.
lives. I've
If
never
he's
been to
close, it's
Yeah.
easy to organize. I didn't know if he only worked like sometimes because he lived like in
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't know,
no,
South
no.
Bend or some shit.
He's usually doing the out of town trips. Anytime we go out of town, we're usually with him.
Nice. All right, Mark. How you guys close these things out, huh?
Well, should we wait for Donnie?
I'll be Donnie.
That'll probably be a while.
Yeah?
I'll be Donnie.
Donnie. What are you
Donnie.
taking it? Number one or
Hold on,
number
hold
two?
on, hold on. Everybody
Taking
quiet so
a
we can hear
shit?
Donnie. We gotta hear Donnie. Say it again, Donnie.
Hey,
He said
there you
thanks
Thanks
go.
for watching.
Hey. So yeah, like they said, thank you for watching.
Check out the podcast
check-
tomorrow. It's gonna be the Heart and Soul podcast, episode 1 at 7 p.m. Central Time. Yeah, we'll send those of you that care about it some
So
links.
don't you go to bed too
Yes.
early.
Like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook, and wherever you're watching from. Thank you again.
Yeah.
But
Before Mark gives your last words, because you have to get the last words, I just want to say, Save the Wave loves you.
Save the Wave is in love with you.
As long as you're of age. No, Mark, sorry for cutting you off there. I want you to...
follow us on Instagram if you haven't as well. It should be official Vault Media. And yeah, we'll try to start posting on there more frequently. We have been slacking on that, and we keep saying that we will be more active on it, but we probably won't. But anyways, we'll see you guys next time.